Talk 31. Hey, yeah.
Mic check.
That's pretty cool. That was pretty funny.
Let's just face it up. Check, check, check. You're going to have to turn that on. It's probably not on.
Checking.
Check.
We're checking.
No. Check, check. Check, 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 check.
Checking.
All right.
Hey.
Check.
Well, looks like we are in the building finally.
I'm the
Technical
most
difficulties.
Hey.
Can we do the revolutionary,
Good night.
good night? Can we get a mic check? 1, 2.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check on the wireless mic at
Can
the
we
bar.
get a wireless mic back there? Check on the check of the wireless mic. No, pick up.
No,
the
I
mic, Josh.
need mic check.
You're not as cool as Mikey, Josh. It's copyrighted.
1, 2.
1, 2.
There it is. There it is.
3, 4.
Awesome.
It's a little fuzzy. I think mine's a little
Check.
fuzzy too.
No, you're just fuzzy.
Check, check,
Am I- yeah.
check, check.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Yeah.
You had no hair.
And he was everywhere.
But Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he?
No, I don't think so.
Why did that happen? All right. I think we're ready. Maybe. Let's do this.
Whoa.
Welcome to Mead Talk.
Mead Talk.
Thank y'all so much for showing up tonight. We appreciate everybody for
It's
being
Mead
here.
Talk.
Even if you didn't want to be here, we appreciate you being here. Mead Talk is a place, in case you don't know, where everybody gets to come to the table and discuss everything good, bad, and indifferent. And whether we agree on it, don't agree on it, it's just a place to come and talk.
All right. While under the influence of mead.
Exactly,
Yes.
which was the next thing I was going to say. Every person up here, so in order to enter the realm of Mead Talk, in order to be on stage, you have to at least consume 3 glasses of mead. So 3 glasses of mead is the minimum. That could be 3 glasses of 5% mead or 3 glasses of 13% mead, just depending on what you choose. So
Yeah. And you know, most of the time, the people that do come up here are maybe like 4, 5, 6. In my case, my first time, 9, glasses in. Yeah.
yeah, the first Mead Talk, you were pretty heavily intoxicated there.
Yeah. No, and I'm pretty buzzed tonight too. So
Yeah,
should
so
be
it should
good.
be good.
Should be pretty good.
So just so everybody knows, we do this in front of a live audience. There are people in this room with us. There is a mic out there at the bar where you can get involved. There's
Yep.
also another mic that we do a mic check on, and
Yes.
he is here. He is present in the building.
He is a live mic, although if you talk to him, you may not like the outcome.
Yep, he does talk back.
He does.
But, but there is one out there. So if you'd like to get involved, say something.
Say something, make something.
Tonight, this is our 4th appearance.
Of yours truly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nathan, is our co-worker. So,
Co-mead brewer.
Yeah, Mead Brewer. So he's got an interesting outlook on life, and we like to explore it.
Such an interesting outlook. I really do. I really am pretty unique.
I would say that.
Not afraid to say that.
No, yeah.
Pretty unique.
Well, people think that I'm like crazy, so it's all good.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah.
But
People think I'm just fucking rad.
Yeah. You're just the coolest guy in
I was
town.
born that way.
All that in the bag of chips, huh?
Yeah.
yeah,
Kettle cooked chips, okay?
What?
about that.
Kettle cooked chips.
Kettle cooked chips.
Those are the
Those are the
best.
superior kind of
They
chip.
definitely are. Mm-hmm. We definitely agree on that.
No,
Yes.
that is one thing. And, when we do get on Mead Talk, more often than not, we will find something that we do agree on. And
Yes.
tonight, it happens to
that's
be
the odds, though,
kettle
you
cooked
know?
chips.
Yes. Now we could discuss flavors, and obviously that would be a disagreement.
Yeah, now see,
but we
might be disagreement
the base, the foundation we agree on.
Yeah.
The flavor we'll probably disagree on.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Which,
That's life.
cracked
That's,
black pepper. That's
No, see,
he doesn't know what he's talking about,
sea
guys.
salt and malt vinegar.
Sea salt and malt vinegar is
The
not
best.
a bad option, but it's not the best.
It is the best.
It's not the best.
It is the best.
No. No, there's something to be said about the simplicity of cracked black pepper.
The
Yeah, that it's
simplicity. Yeah.
possibly the second best, but it's not the best.
Possibly the second best. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. We can compromise with
No,
that.
I do enjoy yes, it cracked black pepper has a unique taste. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful taste. Mm-hmm. But it's not that of sea salt and malt vinegar.
Right.
And everybody has different taste buds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like everyone has different opinions, different outlooks on life, different ways of looking at the world and ways of judging what's going on and who to trust.
Yeah.
Well,
I had a long time ago. I'm a bit older than you.
I gathered. I don't know how I put my
Wait a
finger
minute.
on it, but I guessed
How
it.
old are you?
I am actually 22.
22. So you're
22.
almost twice his age.
Twice
Almost.
my age.
Yes.
That's wild.
It's pretty wild.
so.
Hey.
Yes.
This lady out here,
Yes.
she's doing very, very well for her age.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The
Yes.
Duchess.
The Duchess. She is the newest royalty member.
Yes.
She is, yeah.
I remember
Guys, she has her
telling her
chalice.
about the royalty club.
If I could turn the camera real quick, I would. We're gonna work on that. Live feeds going everywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be
You
super
know,
cool.
like-
Well, and I figured out that I can program different camera angles on here, and I
Yeah.
can go from one
Oh,
to the
dude,
next.
we gotta have different
Yeah.
camera
Hey, look,
setups.
what we need is Nathan to give us all of his paycheck that he
Right?
earns from
Yeah,
us, and we'll
exactly.
get the
I need to
stuff.
forfeit all of my
Yes,
paycheck.
and we'll get
Yes,
the stuff,
exactly.
and it'll be a fantastic Mead Talk.
If only I didn't have rent to pay, dang.
Oh wait,
Those
real
things.
life, yeah, that happens.
Shit, man.
Those things that we all have to do. Now, okay, so the last time that we talked, I'm going to get started here, and
Yeah.
then I didn't get any time to prep before, so I'm going to have to go to the bathroom right after, but I'm going to get us started here. We talked about paganism,
Yes.
your belief,
Yes.
Norse pagan, to be specific, and we dove pretty heavy into all that.
Yeah, well, we definitely stayed in the realm of comparing it to Christianity
Right.
and like how it's different from Christianity. But yeah, we definitely went pretty deep into it and we
Well, I mean,
discussed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was just interested in seeing how your day to day goes.
Right, yeah,
Which
exactly.
is it's always interesting to me to put myself
You
in other
actually-
people's shoes.
You showed us a video, or not a video, but a photo of your
Altar.
Altar space,
Yeah,
yes.
put that in that video too, so people could see that.
It looks a little different right now.
like
because,
an expansion.
Does it change
or-
from time to time?
It changes by the season. Yeah, that's the way I like to do it anyway. A couple other pagans do it differently, but the way I do it is by each solar holiday, so the equinoxes and the solstices, I will change the decoration and the setup of the altar to give it a fresh look.
So it's
to-
rather festive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, try to stay seasonal because you want to keep the altar space as a little piece of the symbolic natural world.
Nature, yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Why?
because the natural world is very important to pagans in general, and it's very important to how we view spirituality, and how we view the world as a spiritual place.
Yeah.
We believe that many things, from trees to different animals to even the blade of grass, they all have different spirits, different levels of consciousness and personhood.
Yeah.
So keeping the altar as a piece of that, especially in the realm that we live in this, this realm of suburbia, where, unless you're going to the one city park in your area, it's it's just roads and ditches, for the most part, and the occasional shopping center and the occasional neighborhood.
That's why I don't like cities.
Yeah, it's why I don't like suburbs in particular.
Yeah. I just don't like cities.
Right. Yeah,
Especially giant, large cities. I hate them.
Giant, large cities have their place. However, I do feel like that the majority of people were meant to live out in the country.
Yeah, well, I think that cities have a place. I just think that it shouldn't have a place. Put it that way. I think they're just big piles of trash.
I would beg to differ. The way that we do our cities right now, a lot of them are pretty trashy, yeah, but doesn't have to be like that. There's a healthy way to conduct city construction,
Yeah, well, I guess it just it depends on what you deem as a city to be, whether that's just population.
See you, brother.
Later, Mikey. Whether that's just population or whether that has something to do with the way that it's actually constructed.
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's a mixture of population density, not size, density, and also, the way that the city is constructed.
Yeah, I think there is an actual number though of population where it goes from
like village to town to city.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but from my understanding, if we were to do everything the correct way, a city should never be over like 48 to 50,000 people.
Right, but that's a pretty old, definition. And that's the thing.
No. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the right way, not the new
right way. Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
again, different perspective though, Just because it's the old way of doing it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, which is pretty silly coming from a pagan, right?
No. What I mean is the right way, right? Like not the old way. Even it's more of a new old way, but it's the right way. And what I mean by the right way is the right way by us, the one that gives us a better quality of life and also gives better quality environment.
So then I would assume that you would also be down for the construction of more trains.
More trains?
Yeah, more trains. No?
I would be
Even though
down
that is, tried and true, tested over the centuries.
Yeah, but that's an assumption that we need help to provide for ourselves.
Exactly. So, I would be down for the deconstruction of most transportation, right?
Now, how are people supposed to get around? How are we supposed to conduct large-scale trade?
Yeah, you don't.
You provide for yourself.
A lot of people would die if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
It's the equivalent of the domestication of the wolf. The wolves, they provide for themselves. Now, when you domesticate, what do you then have to do when you domesticate?
What you got for us?
It's a...
Just hand it to her. And she can.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it on?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you
It's
turn it on.
Okay, so
Make sure you talk right to the mic for me.
okay.
There you are.
Cities are also known as metropolitan, depending on the amount of people that are there, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So the only way that certain cities, or all cities, can get federal and state funding is by the amount of people within the city. So
Okay.
a metropolitan is 100,000. You're talking that 50,000 you think would be the correct number for an appropriate city for quality of life. Cities were meant initially to put public buildings, and they're centralized so that everybody can get to those public buildings,
Yeah.
providing they have transportation to get
Yeah.
there. So the metropolitan came into effect so that the money could be dispersed within the state through a city with 100,000 or more. And that's
Yeah.
why you might have quality of life in a smaller setting, which of course I love rural areas, so that's where I would want to live. But you need the metropolitans, the 100,000 or more, to get the ultimate amount of funding back from the federal government that we pay to the federal
Well,
government.
I wouldn't want federal government funds at all.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get highways, railways. or-
Right, he's saying that he's
Exactly.
against that. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily against it. I just don't believe we need it, right? I don't believe anything.
So-
I believe everything's been built for the wrong motivation.
So if you wait, hold on.
Right,
If you don't think that we need it, but you're not against it, then why promote policies that would deconstruct, those structures, those institutions?
I don't promote policies that would deconstruct it.
You said that, we should
we
do
should.
away with all of that.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be promoting, I would assume, promoting certain policies to do that, right?
So government is important, but localized government is, in my opinion, best. So if my localized government can communicate with the localized government next to me, and we can build roads and we can connect each other,
It's still on. Can you turn it off, Josh?
it's better
Can you turn it off?
than having somebody way up above looking over that says, well, just give me 40% of your income and I'm going to make everything okay for you. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with me paying 40% of my income and them saying, I'll take care of everything. And when I get on the roads, I have to buy a new suspension every 2 years because the roads are absolute shit. Now,
that's
if it were localized government, it's a lot easier to hold them accountable when I can walk into, for example, the municipalities
Right.
there and say, why are my roads messed up? You're not getting another penny
It's
That's
until
where
this is fixed.
That's
it's pretty. Hold on, it's pretty crazy. It's just you're literally so close to an idea that does exist and is talked about seriously in academia called anarcho-syndicalism. You're literally like right on the edge of it, and it's one of the most leftist, most progressive ideals out there.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, that's how this nation was founded, was local government.
Well,
This
I mean,
government. All right, no,
so
America was not founded on that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
No.
no, like local governments literally, local communities literally, local economies really built this country into what it is today.
Yeah.
It was founded because they wanted to get away from the crown because they wanted to set up their own
They wanted
government.
to get away from religious persecution.
We understand why the
Not
country
reli-
was
not
founded,
really religious
but it was
persecution.
built on the foundation of the country. What it was built upon was local economies growing, right?
Capitalism.
Yeah, at its finest.
Mercantilism is what you're talking about.
Capitalism
there, actually.
before 1913 was completely different. The government was completely different before 1913, right? And that's where we worked the best. After 1913, everything started going downhill for this country, and that's because the privatization of money.
Everything started going downhill.
Everything, yes.
What happened in, 1921?
1921.
Or 1922?
The 1920s were an economic boom.
What was abolished?
I mean, yeah, until 29. Oh, you're talking about the prohibition?
Prohibition.
Yeah, no, that was some
And then
bullshit.
shortly after the prohibition, after they got done with that, then what happened?
Great Depression.
Yep. And then after the Great Depression, what happened?
The
World
Great
War.
Depression wasn't specifically because of the prohibition, though.
No.
It's not like you're
It's
saying
because-
that as
it's
if
because
of
one caused the
1913.
other.
I'm not saying that.
1913 caused the Great Depression. That is
1913
very well
caused
known.
the Great Depression.
Yes.
Yes,
The
but-
Federal Reserve Act was signed. That's what caused the Great Depression.
However, had they not had
Like,
alcohol,
100%.
It was a multitude of factors. You can't just simplify
no,
it
there's
to
not
one
a
thing.
multitude of factors.
There's not. There's
No.
never a multitude
The
of
banks
factors.
caused it.
That's one
Yes.
thing
End of
I
story.
that's one thing I can never understand. Because the banks were responsible for most of it, but why do we have such a propensity for simplifying these really complex historical phenomena?
Because it goes back to the origin of what caused it, right? So, if that never happened, if
There's
the
no
federal-
singular origin
if-
necessarily.
So let me put it
Yes.
to you this way: if you're walking down a trail and a stray dog sees you, and then the dog growls and attacks you, is that complex or is that basic?
That specifically is basic, but I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about.
Because you can sit there and dissect something all you want and say that this, and this.
Right, but a
But
dog
the-
attack is not nearly on the same scale as what we're talking about, which is the greatest,
simpler.
period of economic turmoil the
exact
country
same
has ever
scale that
known.
we're
The
talking.
world has ever known.
Well, okay,
No, it's
so
the exact same.
It's not the same
it is
scale.
The exact
No,
same
this
scale.
and this is something that I run into when it comes to talking with people online who think more like how you guys do, right? Is there just seems to be such an aggressive
What do you mean by you
tendency
guys?
towards simplifying.
What do you mean by you guys?
Conservatives.
Okay. So
I'm not conservative by any means.
I mean, you talk like one.
Thanks. No, so the.
I mean,
what
I know I
was-
talk like a lib, so yeah. I mean,
Okay. Well,
But like, if you're not a conservative, then why do you tend to agree more often than not with the conservative? Like, that's the
Logic?
thing.
no. Yeah, I agree with logical things that make sense. right?
Logical things that make sense.
Yeah. So
You
logical
and I specifically
inconsistencies-
talked about how every single side always, points to logic. It always appeals to your intuition, your logical thinking skills, and all of that.
No.
between the two parties, one
Yeah.
appeals to your emotion, one appeals to logic.
No, actually, I would say both appeal to your emotions.
No.
No,
One
because
appeals
that's
to
how
logic, one
politics
appeals
work.
to
That's how
emotion.
propaganda works. It's
And one has
manipulating your
propaganda,
emotions.
one is logical.
No, they both have propaganda.
I would say, well, yeah. So they both have propaganda. I would say one is
They
a little
both
bit
have
more
propaganda.
logical than the other, though.
Now we can discuss the propaganda.
Neither
per
of them are
party.
logical.
If you're
One
talking-
of them
if
is
you're
less
talking-
evil than the other.
Yeah, if you're talking sides like right or left,
Right.
then one of them is definitely a lot more logical
One of them
than another.
One of them
They
wants
still have
freedom.
issues.
The other one wants
Exactly, yeah.
authoritarianism.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
We
We just disagree on which side that is.
yeah. Well, okay.
Well, we disagree on which one we should have.
What do you mean by that?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I was gonna say, didn't you have to pee earlier?
Yeah. Hey, while you're there, can
Hey,
you give
don't
me
fall in, okay?
something alcoholic that's mead wise. Yep.
Something mead adjacent.
So what I mean by that is one party, for example, wants to control what people say, what people think.
Right. Yeah.
One party wants to allow freedom of speech.
Which party is that? That's the question.
What
Which party?
What party is Elon Musk with?
Elon Musk is not a free speech warrior by any means. And that's what I mean
But
is that
one
no
party
one is
has-
immune to propaganda.
But one party has crucified him for allowing free speech on X.
No party has crucified anybody about Twitter.
X.
Okay.
But yes, one party has. Actually, there has been a recent interview from a certain network from a certain guy in which they talked, and he said, and Elon Musk himself said, no, you're against freedom of speech. He said, no, I'm not. I'm not against freedom of speech.
Okay,
He said,
so
I want people to be
do
held
you-
accountable
do you think-
for what they say.
I know what you're
And
talking
that's,
about.
Yes.
I know what you're talking
that's
about. No,
the difference.
that interview. No. Do you think that guy works for the DNC?
Who?
The guy who interviewed Elon Musk in that interview.
Absolutely. He
You
is
think he works for?
controlled.
And this is what I mean.
If Hillary Clinton popped up for the presidential
every side
election,
talks
he would
about
be on
how
her
they're the
backside
logical
like
side,
black-
and every side pretends that they're the ones that are immune to propaganda, when secretly no one
Now,
is
don't-
immune to propaganda.
Let me say this: I'm on neither side. I'm on neither party. I
know,
think the two-party system is going to cause a civil war,
I agree with that.
but one party is more logical than the other.
I don't think either party is more
And I'll be
logical
honest,
than the other.
Elon Musk, he's neither party.
Elon Musk is a non-factor as far as I'm concerned. He's
Got a pretty good footprint.
he's the wealthiest man in the
society.
world, yes, but like
And he
his
owns-
influence shouldn't be recognized
No,
personally.
His-
That's my
well,
belief.
his influence.
Because I don't
shouldn't
think
be
that your
regarded-
wealth should be
His influence shouldn't be regarded, but it should be recognized.
no. Because I don't think that just because you happen to be more wealthy than literally everyone else in the country, that means that your political opinions suddenly have to have more weight than everyone else's political opinions.
No.
I think the only political opinions
Well, if
that
we thought that,
should
then everybody
have
would
weight
follow-
are politicians' political
If we
opinions,
thought
you know?
that, then everybody would follow
That's why-
Soros or the.
Who wants to follow
Wait a minute.
Soros?
Wait a minute.
That's my
wait a minute.
question.
That is the reason why 1913 ended this country as it is.
Yes.
Because we gave power to the money for the federal government away from the people, right? So we gave it to a private organization that the federal government then did not have to ask permission from the people to do certain things. They could then pull money out of the air, have it printed for them.
If it makes you feel any better, I think the government should do literally everything by referendum.
So let's talk real quick. This is, look, I'll put on the tinfoil hat if you want me to. I don't care.
Oh, trust me, you're already wearing it in my head. It's been on for a minute.
JFK, why was he assassinated?
Oh goodness, we're getting into the deep conspiracy. Okay, JFK assassinated. I feel like because, and I do think that there was a little bit of fuckery going on, but I think it was mostly because
do me a favor.
Lee Harvey Oswald was an insane man.
Do me a favor.
Who was
take your feelings out. I need logical thinking.
Oh, I'm thinking logically.
But you said I feel like, so I'm not worried about your feelings. I need logical thinking.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you have a semantics thing about that. Yeah, I think that there could be some fuckery going on. However, I do think that the majority of the reason why that JFK was assassinated was because Lee Harvey Oswald was an insane man who had sympathies for the Soviet Union, which was America's greatest enemy at the time, and he felt like that he could get in good with the Kremlin if he was the one that took out the president. I think that the fuckery actually comes from the possible idea that the Soviet Union had their own little MK Ultra going on, and that they somehow got to Lee Harvey Oswald and put him up to assassinate him.
So you don't think it could have been within our own government?
No, I think it was the Soviets.
Hold on. You think MK Ultra was real?
Of course, I think MK Ultra was
Conspiracy
real.
theorist over
I
here.
know.
Oh wow!
Can't believe this.
Yeah, so I trust the CIA. You know, when they
Me too. Yeah.
you know declassify their own documents and stuff.
Yeah, I trust that. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, generally, yeah, because, you know, at the end of the day, we have the Freedom of Information
It's
Act.
just funny.
that's
it's just
right.
funny
Yeah.
that you believe that, but you don't believe like other documents that have been declassified.
Which ones?
Well, there's a lot. I'm just vaguely throwing that out there right now.
But I mean, like, it depends on which ones you're talking about.
Wait,
There's
why would it
nuance to
depend?
But why would it
Because
depend? That's
if
There's nuance.
but why
Yeah,
is there a
I
nuance for
agree.
one and not another?
What?
Why would it matter for one and not another?
It depends on whether or not it's a national security risk.
Are we talking about diapers for adults, or are we talking about declassified documentation? I'm confused.
We're talking about classified information that has been declassified since being relevant. You know, so
Right.
like I think that things should be declassified decades after the fact.
I don't think
once it's no
anything
longer
needs to
relevant.
be
Yeah.
classified. I think we're supposed
Well, no,
to
because
have
that's a national
transparent
security
government.
risk. Do you
No,
want
it's
do
not.
you want China and Russia to really have their grubby little mitts on all of our secrets?
They
What
already do,
secrets?
first of
Yeah,
all. But
I mean,
They have their grubby little mitts on some of them, but not all of them.
China is the reason that most people, especially liberals, think the way that they do nowadays.
You really think China is the reason
They
why?
are full.
You know, China is one of the
100%
most.
behind it.
You know, China is one of the most gay countries in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
yeah,
Right
no,
behind
they
Muslims.
don't influence the progressive left in this country. That's
Well,
for sure.
that's how you depopulate a population for sure.
but wait a minute. Hold on.
Depopulate a population.
Hold on.
Really?
Can I prove a
Yeah.
point real quick? You're talking about anti-gays, but yet we're on stage on a prior conversation, and we talked about Islam and Palestine, and you said free Palestine.
Oh my gosh. I was wondering when we were going to talk about, because I remember a long time ago at this
But
point.
you remember the
you
conversation,
said-
right?
Well, yeah, no, I don't remember that specific conversation.
But
What
we
I
did have a
remember is
brief
you
discussion.
saying that we should talk about Israel and Palestine.
But you were free Palestine.
Yeah.
But you were just talking about China and not having an influence on the socialism today in our country, but yet you're talking about how they're anti-gay, but yet you said free Palestine.
Right.
Muslims are
What
the
is-
most
what is that?
anti-gay
What does that
religion
mean? Do you think
exists.
hold on, so you think I support first of all Islam, and second of all you think I support China?
No, I'm saying I think that your ability to say that China doesn't support gays, which means you don't support China.
have you?
I didn't say that's
hold
the
on.
reason why I don't support China.
Hold on.
But
Have you-
I
say-
said
you
that
say
China
that's-
does not
that they couldn't
influence
have
the
an
progressive
influence
left.
on
So
socialism.
have
Yeah.
you ever heard the song Californication?
No.
by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, I haven't heard that one. No.
Okay, it's a really good song. It's made for what, early 90s?
It was mid to late 90s.
Mid to late 90s. So,
Y'all be careful.
Hey, y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming in. So the song is all about China basically using California to project their ideals across the U.S. and on a Western world.
So you're getting a lot of this from a song?
No, I'm just asking if you've heard the song.
Have I heard the song?
But
No.
you said no, so I was explaining to you what the song
Okay,
says.
sure. So then, all right. What relevance is the song?
It's 100% true.
It's a
That's what-
prediction.
It's 100%. So then I'm right. You get your
No,
worldview about China from a song.
No, I just learned about the song when I did it.
You
in karaoke
just learned about the song.
The other night.
Okay, gotcha.
It's pretty awesome.
Gotcha.
It wasn't necessarily learning about the song. It was the reading the lyrics.
Understanding the lyrics
Uh-huh.
to it, which is pretty wild.
You know, there is such a thing as a confirmation bias. I don't know. Have y'all heard about that? Confirmation bias?
Confirmation bias.
Is that right there with
Confirmation
normalcy
bias.
bias?
What's normalcy bias in
Okay,
this
well,
context?
okay.
No.
Well, normalcy bias, if I can give you a quick explanation, is...
I mean, I know what normalcy bias is.
Okay, go ahead.
But it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when you seek out sources of information.
I understand what it is.
To justify something that you already held in your head.
And
It's
what's normalcy bias?
Normalcy. What does normalcy bias have to do with?
They coincide actually very well together. Normalcy bias is you're living this life and nothing bad can ever happen to you. The government doesn't want to get a hold of you. That you can never be in a wreck. You can never have anything bad happen to you.
I never said that. Okay, hold on.
Confirmation bias is
That's the reason why I was confused, because you're assuming a lot about what I think when it comes to the government.
I'm just comparing the two definitions between confirmation bias and normalcy bias. Normalcy bias is I'm living my life. Nothing can happen. The government doesn't want to take control of me.
I don't think anyone has normalcy
confirmation bias is you don't think
except for like
normalcy bias.
Except for like the
with
fucking waspy middle class New
I saw
Yorkers.
a gentleman sit right here with his back to the door. I'll
The
never
coastal-
sit with my back to the door.
I think like coastal, bougie fucking middle class Democrats. Yeah, maybe they have normalcy bias.
No, 93.72% of people have normalcy bias.
That's crazy to me. No, no, because
Do you think that you can't get in a wreck on the way home?
I do think I could get in a wreck on the way home.
Are you going to wear your seatbelt?
Of course I'm going to wear my seatbelt.
Are you going to survive?
I don't know.
Normalcy bias.
How is that normalcy bias?
Because you think that everything's fine.
I don't know. I said I don't know.
But
I have
you
no idea to tell if I'm going to be fine or not.
You think that you can make it home and possibly
I
have an
literally
accident.
didn't say that. I said that no, I don't know if I can.
But wait. Do you think that somebody could walk in right now and start shooting?
Sure. It could happen.
Uh-huh.
There's a chance of anything happening. Yeah.
But are you prepared to fight back?
No, and we've discussed why, and that's a different thing.
I know we talked about the violence and everything, yes. But
No, I would be honestly, I would be hiding is what I'd be doing.
yes, we talked about that. But and it may be a different Mead Talk because I would love to talk to you about that.
Sure.
Because
I definitely wouldn't hide.
with you, I see different.
But I actually, so I appreciate your honesty in that, though, because a lot of people are like, oh, I missed that motherfucker.
Well, yeah,
And
I don't have.
I'm like, dude, you've never been shot at. You don't even know what that feels like.
Right.
You don't know how.
It's because I don't have
stressful-
any toxic, assumption that I have to be strong and enduring all the time. It's not something anyone can be all the time. So yeah,
Well,
no,
I
don't think that
it's important to be strong. I
It's
think it's important
important.
for every one of us to be as strong as we possibly can.
as
be.
you possibly can. Yes.
Right? And so, but
everyone
an
has a
issue,
limit. That's true.
But that's an issue nowadays because we're constantly taught to be weak. Right.
Right. And
so-
and I feel like that's mostly because we teach certain demographics of people specifically that they're meant to be weak.
Look, when I see, let me
like
put it to you.
everyone who's
Like women.
What about them?
Like the fact that we teach women that they are supposed to be weak, that they're born weak, that to me
How are we teaching them?
drastically
telling them
weakens our society.
How are we teaching or telling them that?
Because we're socializing them into certain roles and expectations, such as being a nurturing figure, having a higher propensity for kindness
hold that
and
mic.
generosity, versus how we raise up a lot of young boys, which, more often than not, we raise them to be okay and accepting of things like
I'll be
violence.
honest. The 4 boys I have,
no. Well,
I'm raising them to be men.
Uh-huh.
We were outside building a deck today. Was my wife helping? No.
Yeah.
What was she doing?
I don't know.
Cleaning the pool?
Okay.
Could she?
Could you have been cleaning the pool and she could have been making the deck?
No.
Why not?
Strength,
Strength.
knowledge.
Does she? All right, that's the thing. Besides a knowledge gap, assume that she knows how to build a deck.
Hold on.
Could she build it?
yeah. Well, yeah. That's so. You mentioned aggression. Well, you mentioned violence. But that is more of a natural thing for men, right?
Natural
So
thing. And this is another thing.
It's not a
It's
social
not a natural
construct to be
thing
violent.
to be violent.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
a natural thing to.
Social
It's not.
construct
there's
is
a
a made-up
reason-
terminology.
It's not a natural thing to just be
There's a reason why-
spontaneously violent, like a lot of young boys are taught is okay
There's
to be.
a reason why an emotional man ends up in prison, right? Because he doesn't
Right.
know how to control it, right? But an emotional woman doesn't always end up in prison. And that's shown statistically across the board.
She just ends up with a lot of cats.
Exactly, yeah.
The
well, there-
biological.
Yeah, and that's an issue.
biological-
I agree with
What's
that.
that?
The biological, natural, born instinct of every man is to be a hunter. Hunting implies what?
Why do I
Why?
not
They-
like
it-
hunting then?
It implies.
Why do I
violence.
not like being a pursuer, a predator like that then?
Okay, and there is a reason for that. I have lived in 2 centuries and 8 decades. You've lived in 2 decades, okay?
Can we not? All right, hold on. We've had several other Mead Talks where this kind of things happen. Just because I'm young doesn't mean that you know what I know. It doesn't mean that,
That
you
is
understand
correct.
my
That is
expertise.
correct. I have
You
that.
know, so there's no reason
But let me-
to
but let
bring
me-
out the age gap.
Well, I
Literally no
I
reason.
think there is and if correct me if I'm wrong. Normally, wisdom comes through experience, right?
Normally, yeah.
Okay, so
But the internet has changed that. That's the thing.
okay, yeah, and that's I wouldn't say that because you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but
Media and
actually
internet
applying it,
literacy
there's
is different.
No,
That's
no,
the
no.
thing. You have to be literate.
No. Yeah, so you can read all the books you want. You can watch all the videos you want.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't actually mean that you know how to do it. You might have the knowledge, but applicable knowledge is way different. Way different.
Applicable knowledge is not the same thing as wisdom.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that
it
is the definition
That is
of
not
wisdom.
the definition
Yes.
of wisdom.
Explain to me what wisdom means.
Wisdom does not necessarily have a concrete definition. At least I can't necessarily come up with one off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm wise enough
When
to
it comes
know
to
that
when
I
it comes to
offended
when it
you.
comes to dictionary definitions, more often than not, the dictionary is going to tell you what the word most commonly means. However,
No.
words more often than not have multiple definitions.
Yeah, it has multiple definitions, but let's go through them. The quality of having experience, which is application and knowledge, right? And then good judgment,
Good judgment.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so do you think that it's one or the other, or do you think that it's actually probably a mixture of all of those things?
I just said it's applicable knowledge.
I personally don't believe you can have wisdom without knowledge.
Experience
Wisdom
and
is
knowledge.
the
Every one of them-
application of knowledge.
Every
Right.
one of them implies that you have experience and knowledge.
But
Every
if you read,
definition
but if
there.
if you read the third definition, it doesn't necessarily talk about experience.
A rookie on the police force can't
Yeah.
be wise
So-
in the
so it
police
could
force.
be
They don't
knowledge
have
develops,
the
that's
knowledge or the
applicable.
experience.
Not develops.
Yes.
Develop can be referring to a lot of different things. Not necessarily, hand-on-hand action. When you say applicable,
You're really reaching far for this
no,
one.
no.
but-
When you say applicable knowledge, what you're talking about, at least in my head, what you're
translate to
talking
wisdom.
about is knowledge of, like, you're talking about street knowledge. Basically, you're talking about how to
Applicable
survive,
knowledge.
how
Yeah.
to engage in the world materially.
Yeah, something that's
right?
applicable.
But
yeah.
wisdom deals with so much more than just the material world. It deals with, philosophy. It
Okay,
deals
well-
with the spirit.
Yeah, we're okay.
No, that
so-
would be knowledge.
So
What?
Nathan, I apologize for offending you with my age and supposed
She can't do
wisdom.
anything about that.
You're
supposed
fine.
wisdom, but
good.
I do not apologize for stating that the male DNA was created to be the dominant factor on the
Created.
planet to hunt and to provide.
Was
And
created for that.
and to protect, I would
and
say.
absolutely to protect.
Wow.
Now, in the 60s, what happened was a lot of women, and rightfully so, started fussing about women's rights because they had a lot of men coming home from the wars who were damaged and began beating on them after they had been married to him and living with them, and that wasn't the man they married, and all of a sudden they're beating on them. And women needed to get out of those homes, and they needed to get jobs. So then the women's rights comes in, and then the
Well, they
70s comes
Came in
in.
the 20s, really.
And-
Well, yes,
But that was
do y'all know why the
women did
But-
not want that at all.
And
in the
y'all
20s.
know-
now,
do y'all
and
know why?
amazingly now, women don't want that either. There are more women out there saying, I just want it. How many have you heard? I just want a
lot.
good man that will take care of me. They don't want to go to work.
No.
And work is home, and child raising and childbearing and keeping that house spotless and cooking those meals, that is a job. But guess what? They don't get
need
to do
another
that. And
glass
so
of
what happened was then all these boys, these 2-3 decade boys, men, whatever we want to call them, they don't have that natural instinct anymore. It's been suppressed because moms have been raising them without dads.
That's a big issue, I would say.
this
for
this,
sure.
this is
I would say it goes deeper
literally
than that,
all
though.
just like, lack of a better way to say it, it's fascist gobbledygook. I mean, this is nonsense, pseudoscience. I mean, no,
Which is
no.
why
The
I
idea
said I've lived
that
in
the idea
Brews,
that
too.
men were created with DNA specifically to make them hunters, providers, and
Yeah.
protectors.
For sure.
That's beyond
Common sense.
logical.
So-
like, you know, you want to
Wait,
talk
wait,
about
wait.
You
logic?
think a woman
So
is more
scientifically,
muscular?
a man that has more testosterone, that has more muscle mass, denser bones, that is larger in stature, is not built for hunting and providing, versus a woman. in
Not
stature.
necessarily. He could
Not
be.
necessarily
he
my
could,
ass.
No, because we live in fucking societies. That
Hold on,
body
hold on,
could
hold
be
on,
made
hold
for
on.
labor.
Hold on, that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
I'm
Is
6
we
foot
have
two.
the hold on. We have the luxury right now of believing that, right?
Then I understand. I guess why you're going back to the woods. You know,
Yeah.
I assume
Well,
then
okay, so-
that you'll be forgoing a camper and that you will be wearing a loincloth and hunting with a spear.
Why would I do that?
Because that's the natural way to live, right? You want to be a man, right? You got to
na-
hunt for your food,
okay,
right?
na-
Using a
natural
gun
doesn't
also,
mean-
that's
Yeah.
pussy shit because that's way too quick and way too merciful. You got to use a
Natural doesn't
spear.
mean going
That's the
back
manly thing
300
to do.
years.
I will carve my own axe and all my spears
More
and
power
everything.
to you, brother. I believe in you.
You know, that's down the road. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to slowly rewild myself for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely on my list of things to do.
Get on that caveman grind. You know?
Let
For
me
sure,
put it to
yeah.
you this way.
Because that's the best way to
I'm
live.
going to give you a quick example, and you'll say this is isolated. It's not the majority of society. My wife, I'm 6'2". My wife is 5'2", 3". I don't know. There was a snake in our basement that was 5 foot long.
Taller than her.
I grabbed the snake,
It's 2
picked
inches
it
shorter
up.
than her, actually.
and the snake wrapped around my arm, and I took the snake upstairs.
Said almost.
And my wife, before I went upstairs, the door was closed. I said, "Do not look. I'm going to the back door. Do not look." She is terrified of snakes. So
Okay.
if we were in a situation where, let's say, economy had collapsed and we have to provide for ourselves, is my wife going to go provide for me, or am I going to go provide for her? And don't
Okay.
give me some bullshit answer with some SJW
No,
whatever.
I'm gonna reply
I'm
to your
talking
anecdote.
strictly
I'm gonna
logic.
reply to your anecdote with another anecdote. What about the guy who's horribly afraid of wasp? I'm talking about myself here, actually.
I am too.
Horribly
I'm allergic.
Afraid of wasp. No, to the point where I will not swat at one. I will not go near one. I simply will not even look at one because I am just that afraid of them. You know, running out on my own father because there was a wasp flying around me. That even though it could very easily get agitated because I flailed my arms about and ran away and go sting him. So, like, you know, if we want to talk about natural, you know, instincts and the way things are naturally supposed to be, there is no set natural way for fucking anything.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't. And that comes
Look
from
at
just a
nature.
basic misunderstanding of how nature works.
That is a wild thought.
It comes from a
at
basic
nature.
misunderstanding of how nature works.
That is a miraculous thought, really.
Look at nature.
I could say the
There
same
is-
about so many of your thoughts, man.
Nature has set the guideline. Nature. If you look
What
at nature.
guideline? What guideline is
It
there?
is a guideline.
Really?
I am a
Yeah,
very
just because I believe nature was created does not necessarily mean that I believe that there is a set plan or guideline to it, or that there are fucking blueprints.
Did you wipe
Really?
your ass
No.
before you shit or after you shit?
Wait a
the
minute.
fuck does that have to do
hold
with
on,
anything?
hold
There's
on.
guidelines.
Before we get into this blueprint of the universe, what?
Yeah.
Nathan, obviously I am a woman.
Yeah.
I have been single 25 years. I have opened,
Go, girl.
I have opened fire. My job made it so that I did have to carry. I did have to protect myself. If someone came through that door, the question I heard you guys pose, would you protect yourself or run? My biological instinct, even though I know where my weapon is and how to use it, I would immediately look at the men in the room, look at their eyes for direction. That is a biological, natural instinct. I would look at their eyes for direction, not verbal, their eyes. And I would take my cue from that because I am biologically inferior physically to a man.
Okay.
I'd give you that
wow.
cue.
So I understand. I understand that you think that you are simply the lowest of the low compared to men. I get that. However, I have a higher opinion of other women, and honestly, as someone who was born assigned male at birth, I would be not looking at any. I would be running. I'd like that's the thing. Like
Have
you,
you
like
been
you're
in
gonna
a
stop and
situation?
look to
Have
see
you
where
been
the
in that
direction is.
situation? Have you been in that situation? Do you know factually that you would run from something
I have
about
not
to
been in that
attack?
situation, but I know for a fact.
You have-
fact.
hold on.
I would run.
I
Yes.
don't. You have too much going on in your head to run instinctually. First of all, and I know this because I know people that have been beside me in that situation where bullets are flying and there's too much for them to process it. First of all, so it would take you a little while first, I
Right,
think,
and I'd
to
probably
really figure
die.
out what was going on. First of all,
Like we're gonna talk about like what would actually. I'd die. That's
when
what
you
would happen.
did figure it out, when it caught up to you, when your emotions caught up to what was really going on, I don't think you would run. I think you would just be still, mostly.
They gotta freeze up. You know, that's more. Yeah, that's equally as likely. Actually, I agree.
But your mind wouldn't stop. You would be like, how can I get out of this situation? What can I do? What can I plan? Like, how can I make this happen? It wouldn't be, so it's difficult to say, right? Everybody's different.
I was gonna say it's difficult to say, and it's actually kind of, it's kind of presumptuous for people to assume that they know what would happen or
No,
what
yeah,
is happening
totally.
in anyone's head in
I've
any
seen-
situation.
Well, I've seen hundreds of people, different personalities in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's
and everyone reacts probably the same way, but a little but for different reasons, a little
way
differently.
different. Yeah.
I've known guys that are just, I'm a man, I'm solid, I'm going to take care of any threat, and a threat actually occurs and they're crying in a corner.
Right.
I've known guys that are very quiet, very nonchalant, that like there's space that a threat occurs, and they actually will get rid of they have. I saw one thing in high school that was probably one of the most intriguing things I've ever seen in my life. There was this group of rednecks that was calling this one guy just a gay retard, this and that. He's gay and yada yada. And this guy was my friend. And they got up, and one of them comes over there, and he looks at him and said, "Look at me one more time. I'm gonna wreck you, motherfucker." Well, this redneck decided to swing on him. He got up, he dodged, he grabbed him, put him in a chokehold. Motherfucker fell asleep. The guy steps aside, throws his arms up, and all of a sudden, here comes the teachers and shit, and they were all like, "Well, you're suspended, and you're expelled, and you're this, and you're that." And me and my friends showed up in the office saying, "You don't want to do that. That's self-defense. We will take you to court."
I'm sitting here thinking like, wow, further evidence to prove once and for all that homosexual men are more manly by and large than straight men.
But he wasn't homosexual. He was just being accused of it.
Oh, he's just being accused of it?
Yeah. By a redneck.
for why? Why?
Because some rednecks that.
Oh, well, that's fucking lame. Gee, wow, yeah, they deserve to get their asses kicked. Shit.
They do, yes.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the guy that lost the fight, not that you want to hear this, came out of the closet.
Oh, fun. No, I do want to. I love hearing that, actually.
Yes.
That's great.
He was a homophobe.
Because more
because
often than not, homophobes are like that.
Yes, they are.
People that are like hyper-focused on how fucking evil and how fucking degenerate gays are, look at the search history. That's
It's
all
a
I'm gonna
struggle.
say.
Yes.
Look at the search history.
Nathan, I want to address that you said, so do you think that you're, what'd you say, something about mentally inferior, or that I'm just inferior, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like,
I'm inferior.
clearly you think that you're inferior to a man.
So let me put it to you this way.
Mary Cherry, please. Thank you so much.
I so disagree with that, and here's the reason.
You literally said you were biologically inferior.
Right, and I'm going to say this then. Because you're biologically, and I said physically, superior to me. Women are biologically, mentally superior in commerce to men. And you can go all the way back 5,000 years ago, find the history records, and you will find women took care of all commerce in any area of the world, while the men went out to do the strength things. Women took care of the mental, intellectual.
Ignoring the warrior women who existed all throughout history. I mean, it really is such a shame.
It's like this. It's a small minority. It's a small minority.
A notable minority, and actually in much, much higher levels in other societies compared to others, proving, in favor of the idea that it's actually socialized.
Statistics to tell me.
I'm talking. Yeah, we want to talk
ribbon-
about statistics. I gave Matthew and Robert both a whole list of a bunch of different statistics, and I can, write up a whole bibliography of historical statistics as well about like ancient history and the actual presence of women on the battlefield. Like if we want to talk about what academia says, I can go there. Give me a little bit of time. Come in another day. I'll have a packet of stuff for you.
So, well, I think the extremes matter.
Yes,
right?
the extreme. Yeah, sure.
But and I think that the median also matters, right? So
median what?
Yeah. So
I'm talking about academic study. Like I'm talking about
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Peer reviewed,
yeah.
Extremities shouldn't be a thing in it at all. If you
Okay,
are
so
reading it
wrong,
and you
but
see
yeah.
extremities in there, then that's bad. Like something happened.
No. So extremes matter, and averages matter, right? So
in what? Oh, like in statistics.
In statistics, based off of male and female, right?
Sure. Okay.
So
yeah, I get what you're saying.
It really matters there because you find 90% of people that are in jail are men, right?
Right. Again, there are so many different arguments to support the idea that is because of also socialization. Men, again, I will hold to this. They are not born inherently violent
So you just
by any
go-
means.
Yeah, you just go back to that for everything then.
Yeah, because it's true, and the
Okay.
data backs me up. And
So
and
if I can't explain it, it's socially constructed.
no,
that-
you
is that
look
what
at
I
the
hear?
data. If you truly don't know, you say you don't know, and I would say
Okay.
I don't know if I truly didn't know. However, when I say that it's more complicated, and it's more nuanced, and that
Yeah,
the
I
data
agree.
generally disagrees with what you guys are saying,
Well,
I'm
then
telling
why-
the truth.
I
Then
think
why-
that's statistical deviation that you're talking about. I think that
Statistical
you might
deviation.
take those statistics, and if you truly look at the deviant in
Yes.
them, you're going to find that you are incorrect in your analogy.
Yeah, by
deviant-
and large, actually.
What do you mean, like counter data?
No. Like the actual, when you start to break it into subcategories based off of who it is, why, all those different things. When you actually really dive into the data.
Apply all of the different,
It's
factors
actually-
and caveats that you want to. It actually comes out more nuanced. It comes out more, by and
don't-
large, more
don't take
complex.
don't take this word that I'm using by in any context, but the numbers or what I say is actually more on the conservative side of what it really is. It's much, much further stretched than what I normally say, right? So there is a massive difference between men and women, and most people know that, right? I wouldn't say it's necessarily a new thought, but to the certain extent that we're at right now, it's pretty new as to how far we've taken that thought.
I'm telling you what the data says.
Yeah,
The data
yeah.
says that men and women, by and large, are more different because of social factors, less so than biological factors.
No, I know the little tiny little bits that you're talking about that of the social construct, and we've talked about this,
Yeah.
like pink versus blue. Yeah, that's a social construct, obviously.
Right, but that's not.
where-
But that's not
but-
everything. We're talking
No,
about.
no, I
roles.
know. I
That's
just
the,
said that. I just
You're
said
talking about
that.
the aesthetics. We're also talking about the
No.
expectations and the roles of these people as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that came from somewhere, right?
Right. It came from some. Yeah, it came from our many different cultures, our many different ways of understanding womanhood and
why?
manhood.
Yeah.
Look at other cultures.
But why?
The
Where did that come
definition of
from?
men, the way that men and women
Where-
present are different. It's all
And that
different.
just like poofed out of the sky like the universe.
Okay, let's
no,
do
it
this.
happened
Let's
through
get-
socialization. It happened over
Socially,
time.
Who socialized it?
Let's get
Us,
get our,
humans, we
let's-
socialize one
Why?
another.
Where'd it come from?
Let's go
Because
arcade.
we've been
Hold on.
living in tribes for fucking millennia. That's the thing.
And so where did that come from?
It came from
You
just
have
the
to
way
go-
that we do our social organization.
Yes.
The way that we conduct tribes
Okay.
is a
So
very
you're telling
basic.
me that it was natural.
Let's go to the
I'm
rainforest.
saying no, because
Let's go to the
social
rainforest. Let's
socialization does
You
not
go back,
necessarily
you go
mean
back,
natural.
You go back.
No,
it was
because-
natural. That's why it happened.
Let's go modern. Let's go to the rainforest
What's happening in the rainforest, man?
where you got all of these natives. Guess what happens? The men go hunt and the women gather berries. That's still happening today.
Yeah,
And
because
they wear flaps
guess
over their junk.
yeah, because guess what? Some
Because they don't
fucking
have
ancient
social
cultures, some
constructs.
And they
some
laugh at the
indigenous
idea.
cultures are more patriarchal,
laugh
more
at the idea
conservative.
that a
Yes,
man
it's
wears
true.
a dress in our society.
very
they
true.
They laugh at that idea.
Uh-huh.
They don't even understand it. They can't even comprehend it, right?
Yeah.
Because they know the natural order things because they've lived in it for so
That's
long.
so
There's
funny.
no social
It's
construct
crazy
involved.
how expanded your worldview becomes when you just
That's
become
not my
exposed
worldview.
to
That's
so many
theirs.
different forms of information, so many different forms
It is.
of
It's
how
really
to
wild.
actually go about doing society,
It is
doing
really wild.
gender, doing identity, and all of that.
You're right.
It's almost as if there isn't one true way to do anything when you're a human.
There is.
No, because if there was, then every single, we're talking about indigenous tribes. Every single indigenous tribe would be the exact same. They would
They
all have the
are.
exact same clothes. No, that's not fucking true. And that's actually, I will say, that's racist to even say. To conflate them all, to conflate them all
That was
as
a wild
the
thought.
same.
I
That's
mentioned
ridiculous.
No race.
Why
That's
would-
ridiculous.
why
The
would humans-
diversity between
why would
indigenous
humans-
tribes is crazy.
But why would humans not be the same?
humans are the same in a lot of factors, but our cultures inform a huge chunk of how we act and how we engage with the world.
Yeah. Okay. So environmental factors. Yeah. So the people up in Alaska and in the north and stuff, they're going to eat mostly a salmon diet and everything. They're going to make igloos, stuff like that. It's a lot different than what the people in South America are going to do, right, in the natural environment. It's a lot different. Yeah, that their environment shapes a little bit of that, right? That's what you mean by culture.
So it's funny when you say that, because we can look at other cultures, like the American culture, for example.
Yes.
Americans, by and large, came from Europe. And what we did when we came over here is we actually terraformed a huge chunk of this continent to look more like Europe versus what the Native Americans had to deal with, which by and large was a completely different environment than what we see today.
Do you know who was in?
I agree.
Do you know who
that
was
sucks.
Do you know
you're
who
right.
was in North America?
I don't understand why you said that.
Do you know who was in North
so I'm saying
America
the cultures
before
are different.
The Indians?
If it was true that people do different things and people construct buildings differently because of geography and shit like that, then the Europeans would have kept things the way that they were over here when they saw how the Native Americans were doing.
You're relating culture to race. Is that what I'm
Does
hearing?
my mic work? Hello?
What?
Can you hear me?
You're saying that inherently because people have a different race.
Culture's related to
they live
ethnicity.
differently?
No, culture's related to ethnicity.
No, it's related to their
Robert, your
environment
mic
and where they
works.
lived
Just
in the
speak a
world.
little louder.
Okay.
Yeah, and ethnicity's related
Do
to
you
where
know
you're
who was
located in the
North
world.
America before the Native Americans.
What?
Do you know who was in North America before Native Americans?
I don't know. Giant fucking anteaters? What? I don't know.
That's so racist.
Right? Yeah.
Asians.
Asians?
Yeah.
Asians were in North America before North
And
Americans.
Europeans came from Asia, the majority of
Europeans came from the Central Steppe, actually, above the Caucasus Mountains,
Yeah.
just east of Ukraine. That's where
Asians
modern Europeans
crossed-
come from.
Asians crossed,
Yeah.
and then Native Americans.
Do you
took
know?
over.
Do you know what other group of people crossed? Actually, arguably before the Asiatic, Siberian peoples came in from the Bering Strait. Actually, it was
Nordics?
the Pacific Islanders. Several groups of
Yeah.
Pacific Islanders.
they're
We have
still
evidence of
Asians.
that. Nah.
Yeah.
It depends on how you differentiate. I would consider them
I wouldn't look
Oceanians.
at the rock and be like, you're not Asian.
No, because Oceania is a different continent than Asia.
Asia's a big country.
Asia's a big country.
Asians are...
Egypt's my favorite continent.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It's my favorite one.
Nate,
I don't know, I can see that.
Nathan, your point was that the male-female strength, non-strength is all culture. Everything's culture, in fact.
No, the strength thing specifically, no.
Okay, or what they do.
Yeah,
So
what
let's
they
that.
do with
Okay,
that strength,
Okay,
yeah.
so I went to Cusacapa Valley in Honduras, which is hundreds of miles outside of the city. The population there have never even been to the city. It is raw land. They don't know how to do anything. Their infant mortality rate was over 90% when we got there. That's
Damn.
how. Yes.
That sucks.
Yes. Guess what? Now we're talking. You're saying culture. These people haven't been in cities. They haven't been out of the Cusacapa Valley, right? Men would bring what little water there was from the streams because they could carry them to the women, who would stomp on the mud. They'd work the mud with their feet. The men and the women both together would get the twigs and what little trees there were to make their hut and build their hut. Why were the women not carrying the water? Because they didn't have the strength to do it.
So why is it that women in many parts of Western Africa, as well as the Caribbean, are carrying many pounds of heavy material, usually
I propose to you
textiles or
because they
grain
had-
or things like
They
that
had
on top
food.
of their heads?
They had food.
When the men don't do that.
They had food, they had
Yeah.
water, they had whatever minerals and necessity they needed to build up their bodies
Sometimes-
to have that strength.
sometimes they don't.
In Cusacapa Valley, they had nothing.
But the
Yeah,
men are
sometimes they
hunting.
don't.
Nothing.
Sometimes a lot of African tribes don't have literally the same exact amount of resources,
I would
and the women
say-
are the one going out and gathering.
Well, yeah. Well,
You know, it's
the
crazy
reason-
how shit works like
Yeah,
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
the
men are
reason
hunting,
is-
the women are gathering.
Well, the reason that women
Hunting
would
for
go
water?
to the well.
No, for food.
Just
For
like
meat,
the
for
story.
She said
protein.
water.
Just like the story in the Bible.
Yes.
The woman at the well, right? The reason is because the men were doing other things, right?
Yes.
Right. So, but what we're talking about, like you were talking about strength. No, you were talking about strength though, because
I wasn't done with my thought. Building the infrastructure of the entire society.
you were talking about strength though. All right. Why was it that men are not, are not the ones carrying shit on top of their
was
heads? They're not
talking
carrying
culture.
the big heavy pails of water.
I was
It's called
talking
culture, is it?
culture.
Is it? I can't believe it.
What?
That's crazy.
I was talking culture. You're saying because of culture, that's why women do what they do and men do that. But in your world, men or women are exactly equal on all levels.
That's not what I said.
Carrying the water was easier than whatever the men had to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why.
You know, more often than not,
Spears.
the men are the ones that are actually in those situations. Like I'm talking about, like the African tribes in particular. Men, you'll see. You go back to the villages; they're the ones taking care of the kids. They're watching the kids. You know, more often than not, it's the elders, both men and women, that are the ones making the government decisions. Usually, you have one elder above all the other elders. That's the chief.
That's called wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
'Cause
the
they're
thing,
older and have experience.
And that's the thing. It's both men and women, participating in that leadership role as elders. And it's men staying behind, taking care of the kids, and it's women going out gathering the water, the textiles, going out to the market, going out,
That's called commerce.
getting fruit and
we
shit
talked
like
about
that.
commerce. Women are very good in commerce. Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Men are very good
No,
in getting those animals
and what I'm saying
killing
is-
those animals that bring those textiles
What I'm
in,
saying
that the
is
women
that
in
go
and
back.
bid.
What I'm saying is go back, a couple 100,000 whatever years. In a lot of those tribes, the women are the ones going out on the hunting parties. That's the reason why the women today are the ones going out and providing. It's the way some of these people work. Not every society was necessarily men go out hunt, women gather berry. It's not the way shit universally works, because there is no universal law on the way that any of that works.
There is.
There is. Says who? That's what I want to know. Says who?
Says nature.
Who said it?
Says the natural law of
We
things.
just
natural
talked about
order
how
of
the
law.
natural order.
Look,
Quite frankly, it's disorder. It's discord. It's
said
chaos.
that-
It really is not chaos, actually.
They-
It's,
no.
it's pretty well designed.
No. If we want to talk about natural order, we can talk about the web of the weird. We can talk about Orlog. We can talk about fate. We can talk about destiny. But when
No,
we're
I'm
talking about
I'm
natural
talking about
order,
math.
we can't talk about biology.
No,
we can't
I'm
talk
talking-
about
I'm
that kind
talking
of shit,
about
because
math.
that's not
No, no,
order.
no.
Can I say one thing? I've never seen a gazelle kill a lion.
I'm talking about mathematically, right?
I've never seen a gazelle kill a lion.
Yes. So what are gazelle women, lion, or men?
No, that's the natural order of things.
Right. Yeah.
So you're saying it's made up
Because
and it's-
because the gazelle
it's a mythical
is
thing.
killed by the lion,
There's
that
a
means that
natural
women
order.
belong in the kitchen.
I never said
Remember it.
anything about women.
We're talking about natural order.
Yes.
Like, you want to talk about natural order, then okay, clearly, all right, gazelle killed by a lion. Clearly, the logical conclusion is women must be subservient to men. They must be, the weaker sex
Biblically,
compared to men.
yes.
Well, let's put it this way. They don't-
Biblically,
no,
yes.
hold on. They don't have to be. It's better for women if they are, right?
Okay, sure.
Agree.
it's
I'm a
kinda
woman and
cool.
I agree.
Let's keep it real here.
I want to be safe. I agree.
Nobody has to be anything or has to do anything. That we all have
We all have free will.
free will. We are all able to choose these things with our conscience, right? Or with our yes,
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way, kind of.
So
Kinda.
we're able to choose these things for ourselves, right? We're not all action reaction. We are actually able to take action whether there is an action or whether there is a reaction or not, right?
But there's
So-
always a reaction. That's the way
Yeah,
it works.
so I know. Well, not really.
If you're emotionally intelligent, there won't be a reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. that comes to a logical thinking mind, right?
Nothing can also be a reaction. The reaction is just the result of the action you took.
What?
Yeah, when we're talking about like social shit, the way that humans act with one another, then yeah, everything that you do is gonna have a reaction in the rest of society or on the individual level with that other person you're talking to.
Yeah, okay, we can shift subjects there, but what I was saying was, at every level, anybody can do anything that they want, right? It doesn't really matter. They can do anything that they want to their physical limits, I believe. I believe a lot of people have. I have my own physical limits, right? And it's all dependent on the individual, right? But there is a way that if things were done, it would be easier for everyone involved, right? And that natural order of things is very, people know it.
I don't think that's necessarily the case, nor do I think that...
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Nor do I think it's logical
you don't have
to say that there is one.
Yeah,
there is one way.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with that, but it's true, right?
No, it's not true. That's the thing. It's not.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying, like I said, you don't have to agree with that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make it any less true.
And I'm telling you that it isn't true, and I'm going to keep saying that because I'm not going to accept that premise because it isn't true.
Yeah.
And you just said it. You're not going to accept the truth. That's what you.
I'm not going to accept the premise. That was the word I used.
Not the premise of the truth.
No, not the premise of what he's saying, because I don't think it's a truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't live in a world where there are rules or there's anything that dictates anything.
Of course I live in a world where there's rules.
No, you don't. It's all chaos.
Yes, I do.
There's nothing. There's no order.
Yeah, there's
anything.
no biological order. I do believe in destiny, though. I believe in fate.
No
I believe in the weird.
Spiritual order. There's no.
Yeah, spiritual order. I believe in
spiritual
order. No, I don't believe in material order. That's the thing.
Order, because physical doesn't come from spiritual.
Physical does not come from spiritual.
Okay.
I agree. However, there is spiritual order. Just because there is spiritual order, though, does not necessarily mean there has to be physical order.
Okay. So, all right. So this is where I was saying, when you said there's no blueprint to the universe.
Yeah.
Well, there is, right? And you can clearly see it. I mean, it's pretty easy to see.
In math.
And through geometry, right? Sacred geometry lays everything out for us. And what sacred geometry is just the observation of the natural world, right? Mm-hmm. When you go out into nature, you observe it, you can see clearly designs in a particular manner. It's why gravity exists, right? It's why planets move the way they do.
Believe it or not, I've seen a Gen Z say that, I don't know who this Newton guy is that created and invented gravity, but if we hadn't invented it, where would we be? For the love, man.
He didn't invent it, right? He
did not
discovered it.
Just discovered it.
Well, everybody knew it was there. He just put a name on it.
I was going to say, it's always been there.
Yeah, exactly. And so same with creation, right? It's always been here. But we are looking at it, and when you look at it, there is a clear design to it. And every single thing in nature, from every cell in your body to the way that your mind thinks, to the way that you go out into your world and do things, it moves in a particular manner through sacred geometry.
So there is an assumption here that just because the universe is created means that it must necessarily be ordered.
No, that is not the assumption I'm making. Listen to me clearly, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to repeat it. There is a design. And when energy moves, it only moves through this design. Okay? Do you know how I know that? Because it is only expressed through this design. Okay? So when you walk out into nature, it is expressed that way because energy only moves through that way. Right? So like a vibration, a frequency, when it moves, it has to follow this design. There's no other way for it to go. If you look at anywhere from frequencies and sound on the micro level, when you look at the way that it moves. If you take a speaker and you set it on a drum and you put sand on it and you play music to it, it will show you the design of nature. If you take those and overlap them with different sounds, you will get an image. Okay? There's different things that you can do with vibrations that will materialize this world that we have. It was spoken into existence.
Right. So yeah, you're talking about like string theory. That's what I'm understanding from that.
Okay.
String theory is that it's that idea, but applied to theoretical physics. Talking about how at a certain minute level, everything exists as a series of interlacing strings, and that as these strings vibrate, as these strings transmutate and change form through their vibration, that is how certain things come to be in the macro world, right? However, there's no I think it's kind of a lot to assume that there is a set path, because then that assumes that everything that was created is always going to remain stagnant as it was created. When I just don't think that's the case.
No.
Things change, things metamorphosize.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All within that same geometry.
Right, yeah. So okay. I guess I'm confused then. So
pattern.
The existence of the geometry necessarily implies order to you?
Oh yeah, that's complete order for sure.
No.
It has to, yeah. I mean, there's an order to it, and you can actually predict things based off of it, right? That means order. Do you know how I know that predictions can actually be made?
Tell me.
Because they have been.
Yeah. And where?
All throughout history.
In what book specifically?
Many books, actually.
Yeah, many books. That's true. Because it is many books. You're right.
The Quran has actually predicted. The Bible obviously has predicted.
Yeah, because the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible share a lot of the same
Well,
books.
the Torah is the Old Testament, so we won't talk about that.
They share a lot of the same books.
Predictions have come
There's
true.
a reason why
Predictions made in the Old Testament have come true, haven't they?
There's a reason why the Quran shares a lot of the same information, is because it came from the Catholics. It was written.
And
informed.
ironically, the Quran says if you don't follow the gospel, then you're not a Muslim, but yet the Muslims deny the gospel because they say it's been altered.
They say it's been corrupted, but then they
corrupted
say
by
that
man.
the word of God can't be
But
corrupted.
it also says the word of God can be corrupted.
It's very contradicting.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna sit here.
But
and
what is
defend
the what is
Islam,
the
you know
Nordic?
that.
What is the what does your Bible say?
We keep bringing this up, and just because
It's important.
just because
It's
I don't
history.
have a Bible doesn't necessarily
Actually,
mean that
so
my
wait a minute.
perspective is less valid.
Wait a minute.
Like, I
His
don't get
Bible
that.
is the same as ours.
It's
actually,
not.
because he had what he gets his information from comes from our Bible for the most part.
His information comes from
That's
word
so
of mouth,
crazy.
But it just
It's kind of crazy
that.
that when we get into this level of conversation, we start taking these kind of and they come off as kind of cheap shots, assuming that and I'm doing it too, because that's the thing I'm saying, we as all three of us, assuming that we know what one another believes,
then you
assuming
shouldn't
that
call
we
it out if you're doing it too.
Well, no, I'm gonna call it out because
you
I'm
can't call
drunk
it
and I
out.
know
That's
I'm
good.
doing it.
well, at
He
least
said he needs another Mary Cherry. That's what.
And you know what? I'm fucking enjoying it. All right.
But that's what it's there for.
it's good mead.
Oh, the Mary Cherry.
Well, honestly, I was talking to Robert, but yeah, I mean, I was telling him, you get that from the Bible, because that's what I believe. We've talked about that.
And that might be what you believe, but as
Yeah.
you said, just because you believe it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't just rely on my beliefs. I don't do anything blindly,
So
which
there's
is
the-
why I
there's the-
believe in the
Right.
Bible.
There's
right?
the caveat, though. I keep hearing because of you believe and you believe and you believe but that's the definition of faith. There's no solid evidence for anything that we're talking about. There's more evidence for one than the other, yes. It's evidence, but there's no concrete. This is fact, and that is faith. Your faith.
I'd say there's a lot of
There is fact. For example.
It's so difficult to believe otherwise. It's so difficult.
Hold on.
Tried.
I'm right here. I'm literally right here believing otherwise.
I know. That's why I'm like,
Crazy.
it's an anomaly.
Hold on. You two have been going off all fucking night. Shut the fuck up for 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Do it, Robert.
Don't
Have
fire me,
they
please.
found Thor's hammer?
Can we fucking not play in this fucking world? Seriously? Have they found Jesus' cross?
Yeah.
So they found the fucking wood. It petrified?
They found his
It was
blood.
They found his blood.
They actually found the blood.
Hey, did
and-
y'all know that the
Hold
tomb
on,
that Jesus
Nathan.
was buried in was more than likely a shared tomb? That's the crazy
alive.
thing.
with
Still
Thor
alive?
or Odin? I don't know.
No, with a bunch of other
Okay.
Jews who died
Hold
by
on.
the Roman
Wow,
government.
That is so racist.
Yeah, it's fucked up the way the Roman government prosecuted Jews. I agree.
You know how many Romans converted to Christianity after the resurrection?
Yeah,
Actually, there's a couple of books written in the Bible.
fair
that-
bit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why? What does
So
that
hold
matter?
Hold on. So they found the blood. They believe they found the blood of Jesus. The reason they believe they found the blood of Jesus is because when they put the blood under a microscope, it wasn't dead.
Still moving. Cells are still alive. It's pretty weird.
I want to see the source on that. I do. No, like you say, of course,
okay,
I
great.
do. I want to see the source
That's
on
good,
that.
but will you
know,
believe
the
the
ancient
source?
Greeks said
This is-
that they found the stone that Kronos threw up, the stone that was
Yeah.
given to him, in the guise of baby Zeus, so that Zeus could be,
talking-
raised on Crete.
We're talking within the last 100 years.
Right,
so-
yeah. So like if we want to talk about shit that's been discovered to prove different religions, we can also go there.
But again-
Well,
Kronos'
let's-
stone is in Greece
let's
right
put-
now.
Let's put aside deity. So you agree with me that you are a conscious entity. You have a conscience,
Yeah.
and you're an entity.
Yes, sure.
Consciousness comes from energy. Without energy, you have no conscience, correct? When your body dies, your energy or conscience still exists. It goes back to the source of energy from which it came. Now, we have a name for that source of energy. We have a deity called God. I don't know what you have, that you can call it whatever you want. But I know, despite your proclaimed liberalism, that you have a conscience and that you believe there is energy that is working your body and yourself.
Yeah, but I also believe that the soul, the spirit, is a culmination of multiple parts, more than three, more than the standard, body, mind, soul. And I hold that all of these different parts are separate and can survive separately, devoid of one another, and that they all have different afterlives. I believe in multiple afterlives,
Your physical being, the flesh, the carcass in which you reside, you think continues to reside after your death?
I don't think it continues to reside consciously, no, but I do think that energy it doesn't just go away. The energy that your physical body provides, if you bury it actually in the ground, not in a casket, it's going to go back to the earth.
That's correct. It becomes soil.
Yes.
But it's not physical at that point. It has no
It's
life.
still physical. It's still
It has
there.
no life until something creates that life, until some energy creates it.
No, the dormant energy is still there in the soil. The nutrients is there,
No,
ready to be
nutrients.
taken up by whatever plant is going to grow out of it.
Exactly, yeah. So that energy comes from somewhere. It's all basically secondary sun energy, right? At that point. But, I mean, you have to have, bacteria and fungi and stuff to take up nutrients. Nutrients themselves are not, like, living compounds.
No. But, like, at the same time, I don't believe that, there is one source that we all come from either. I believe that many different parts of our body, our soul, our spirit is going to be, it's going to go off to somewhere else. A lot of it's going to reincarnate.
It comes from energy.
It all depends.
It comes from an
on what's
energy
what's happening.
source. Right,
No.
right. Okay, great. It comes from an energy source.
Not
no
necessarily.
matter what you say, all of that, your physical being and all those other beings that
It doesn't come
has
from
to
one
come
source.
from
No,
has
it
to come
doesn't
from
have to come
energy.
from
Let
one
me-
source.
let me
I'm telling
clarif-
you, it doesn't.
Let me clarify. So what he believes is that there's many different sources, right?
Many well springs.
Yeah, what we believe is that there's one source.
Have you ever seen the movie Powder, Nathan?
Power, no.
Powder.
Powder, no.
Powder. It's a pretty good movie.
Is it a good
that
movie?
down. Write that down.
Should I?
Honestly doesn't necessarily coincide with our beliefs, but it is a very good movie.
Powder.
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 It's an old movie, but
It
it's
is.
really
It's an
a
older
classic.
movie.
I'll look it up. That sounds
It
it sounds
kinda
like a good
creeped me
watch.
out when I
It
was a
has to
kid,
do
but-
with energy, intelligence, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Watch it. You would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because I just.
Yeah,
we've
no,
met-
I'll,
we've met.
I'll take your recommendation. Yeah.
So yeah, watch that movie.
He always
and
brings up
after-
a movie every single
Right.
meet talk,
I do.
swear.
I do.
Listen, the man knows good cinema.
I do.
Apparently.
But I want you to watch that, and then after you watch it, let me know that you watched it, and then we'll talk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it
Consider it homework.
yes, we'll do that. But it is a movie that will make you think. It will make you think.
Good. I like thinking.
I know.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
That's why you're on. That's why you're on Mead Talk.
Yeah.
My thinking consists nowadays of how I'm going to build my house and how I'm going to live, all those things. So
Right. Right.
which
My
is a
thinking
lot of fun.
consists of I am man, must provide food.
I was gonna say yeah. That sounds about right. Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I mean that takes up a lot of my thoughts as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, I'll be honest. Am I not compassionate towards you?
That's what I'm saying is like there's,
Am I
You can't say that.
derogatory towards you?
depends on the day.
Look, sometimes my wife pisses me off. That's
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I understand.
there's, we joke a lot and stuff like
We
that,
do.
but it's not meant to be.
Oh no,
hurtful
y'all
in
are
any way.
fine. Y'all are fine. I
Yeah.
love and for the record, I want to say, despite our disagreements, despite the fact that
people
I have a
probably
whole.
think right now we hate each other.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like despite the fact that I have a whole different identity, a whole different look out on the world. I understand
still
that.
family.
Yeah, I understand that. We're still friends, and we're not gonna fucking
Look,
We're not gonna fuck each other over for
We're
no reason.
family. If
Yeah.
somebody walked through the door and you crawled in that corner and hid, and they had a gun,
I will hide
you
behind
got
both
at least
of you.
1 or 2 people that would go and tackle his ass.
Yeah.
And then after
Even
he's
if
down,
it costs our life.
yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
And after he's down, 1 or 2 of us will stand up and look at you and be like, "Give me 10 push-ups."
No, I'll be cheering you on the whole time. Go get him! Oh man.
Did he just shoot a gun? Yeah, it's fine. I took it in the arm. I stopped the bullet for you.
Oh man.
But yeah, we do have a big difference of opinion on on what a man's role is and what a woman's role is, and just this is just me. Look, I have guns. I'm 6'2". I'm probably heavier than I want to be, but I
Who
have
isn't?
dogs. I have kids. I have a house. I have things to protect, and it is my job to protect them. My wife does not want that job. My wife has told me she does not want that job. My wife has told me it's your job to protect us.
And that's the thing. If y'all agree to that and it works for y'all, then there's nothing wrong with that. It's totally fine. If that's the way that it works best for y'all, then that's the way it should work for y'all.
But I would never.
However,
Me personally, I would never look at my wife and be like, "No, I don't want it.
Right.
My bad. It's
What is-
you."
what
No.
is wrong though? What is wrong though is to assume that everyone should be like that, and that that is the healthiest way a relationship has to work for everybody.
Wait a minute. There's a difference there.
But
There's
what's
a divide
wrong with
there.
that?
It's not everybody should be like that, but it is the best way to be in a natural world, right? Like that is the divide. You're conflating two different things there. Not everybody.
Who says?
So can I hold on? Can I ask you? I'm going to ask you a very. I'm going to ask you
because you did.
Hold on.
It was very clear. Everybody
Can I ask
saw
you
it.
a very
I'm not the only
personal
one that
question,
saw it.
Nathan?
Right. I will let you ask, but give me 1 second. I do want to say.
Go ahead.
When it comes to how you go about like this is the best way to do a thing, right? That doesn't take into account whether or not it's the healthiest way to go about doing a thing for that individual.
Yes.
Because there is no one set way,
Yeah.
no one set healthy way for someone to do a thing, for someone to live their life.
Yeah,
There is simply the best way for that individual person, and it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
So let me ask you a very
they're-
personal question. Hold on, man.
That's an extreme way.
What's the question?
So you have, from what I understand, you have a boyfriend and a
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Okay. So let's say you're lying in the bed with either or both.
Sure. Okay.
If somebody were to break in with a gun, who would control the situation and protect each other?
Oh fuck. We'd all die. I'm not even gonna lie. Because my boyfriend is a softie, who's really into tech and stuff like that. So he's definitely not gonna be the one to pick up a gun. If anything, who it's gonna be my boyfriend's other boyfriend. It's gonna be that guy.
But we never
because that
mentioned
guy
him.
he owns
It's got way
several
more
guns
complicated than
and
we thought.
he loves shooting them. He will stand his fucking ground. I know.
No,
he
wait.
will. So, yeah.
I never said
Probably
there was
gonna be him.
4 of you in the bed. I said at least 3.
Oh, dude,
So
there's
between the 3.
there's like 9, 10 of us.
Okay. Let's not get into that because my
Are you
children are
sure
here.
you're not?
Right. I was gonna say, yeah.
1969?
Are there youngins here? Let's not talk about that.
Anyways. So what? Yeah.
Josh is like, and
Yeah.
I will write you a diagram later. Don't worry.
Hey, why are y'all in here? What? I don't understand what's going
right.
on.
Yeah,
Where's your mother?
Yeah, where'd she
Where's
go?
your mother?
Did she
What?
Huh?
They just left you?
She left
She
you?
left you at a bar?
She just left you at a bar. That's
Your mom
crazy.
left you at a bar. I'm gonna have a talk with your dad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
She went to the Palm House.
Anyways.
What? The Palm House?
Anyways.
Why do you keep throwing your hands up? I don't understand what's going on. This is something y'all need to learn, though.
Yeah, let's divert.
I was gonna say, change subject, please.
What?
Yeah, Robert led us in that subject. I don't know
It
why
was a
he went
valid
there.
question.
I mean, yeah, it could have been done at a different time, though. You didn't look around the room. You didn't read the room, Robert.
They are never here this late. Why is that my bad?
Because it's spring
And
break, dude.
No, and I will say this, considering that
Look, if my wife's parents weren't
Yeah.
dying,
yeah,
I would.
I'm sure they've heard you
Probably
ranting
have my
about all
kids here,
kinds
too.
of crazy stuff.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
no, I'm
Right.
very rational when I speak to them.
They don't ever hear you
Guys,
like complaining about something
got you,
you don't
bro.
like.
is this your
Complaining
BFF?
about something I don't like.
Like, yeah,
Your
something in
BF?
the world,
Like working?
He's paying
No,
for
like-
everything.
Yeah, working could be one thing,
Or
but
the
like,
government?
yeah, something like the government or something.
Yeah, the government's bad.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
they- so
his
they hear
card
you talking
pays
about
for
that.
it, right?
Yeah, they know for
They
sure.
hear you talking about, I
Right.
assume, the Bible, right? You
Oh yeah,
you
totally.
raise them Christian, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I do need.
So
I need
yeah,
a
that's
little
what I'm
bit-
saying is you talk about all
His
kinds
hat,
of stuff.
I
like
need to
that,
look
too.
at that
Yeah.
before y'all leave.
Yeah, and so we have something in the Bible called separation of sin,
you're my
right?
boy,
So
Blue.
the sin is not the person, right? So like the sin is what the person does, and so which allows us to like love people regardless of how what sin they commit. Right?
You know what they say about a Christian's love?
It's the best ever in the world. Yeah, for sure.
No, what they say is that there's no hate like a Christian's love. That's what they say.
Yeah, Christians don't hate people. Though.
Hold
that's
on,
that's
see,
the problem.
and now
But
we've
that's what they
talked
say,
about.
though. Why is the perception so different then?
We've
That's what
talked
I'm
about
wondering
this.
It's because you don't allow yourself to talk to anybody.
I'm talking to you right now. Aren't
You
you?
Exactly.
Let me ask you. Have you ever sensed any hate from either of us towards you?
I have sensed
Hate now. Don't
Towards you.
like we're talking
don't
about
get
like,
it twisted.
talking about like hatred, like hatred. No,
Like, okay.
Or any, I mean,
but like
a difference of
general
opinion is not hate.
No, hold on. Difference of opinion is not hate. I agree.
Okay.
However, sometimes I do get antagonism.
No.
what is that?
You're just saying no, like you're in my head. That's crazy. No,
No. You
What I-
can't
no,
say-
what I'm
you
saying
can
is-
say antagonism, but a difference of opinion is not antagonism.
What is that?
Have I,
don't
been, have I
understand.
have I ever been antagonistic towards you because of your lifestyle? Be honest.
Yeah, you said flat out that like I don't believe in that. I don't agree with you. You know, you're not this, you're that. You know, you. Yeah.
I have never said that, and I have never been antagonistic towards you in that way. I've actually tried to understand your lifestyle.
No, we're talking. If you're talking about like those two specific conversations, yeah. But like when we talk about, you know, just general conversation in general, when it comes to like, you know, acceptance of worldview, whether you believe it or not, you know, it's one of those things where it's like y'all ain't gonna use the pronouns I like, you know, y'all ain't gonna use the name I prefer. So it you know, but it's shit like that where it's like that's not hatred necessarily, but it is still antagonism on like a really like basic
no-
level.
Am I
there's
just
no
talking to
antagonism.
myself here? I don't know. I feel like I just
Right,
talked to
I'm
myself.
trying
That's
to
where I
give you
was about
room.
30 minutes
I'm
ago.
trying to give you room to jump into the conversation. but I was trying to finish
it's
the
It's
thing.
the fact that people are just repeating what I just said.
Right.
Christians don't hate people, right? Real Christians don't hate people, right? They don't like the sin that people commit on a daily basis. Now that's obviously hypocritical of Christians, right?
I would say,
yeah, because
Well,
we're
Nathan, and I've read that line before on TikTok and other social media. There's no hate like a Christian love or something like that they're saying. And I would ask you to define for me what you think Christian definition is.
Oh, yeah. And they probably.
I've never asked them that actually.
Well, no. Well, we have talked about that
Just
before.
a quick sentence. How do you define the Christian?
The way that I define Christianity, the way that I define the Christian practitioner, is anyone who claims to the worship or to the status of being saved by Jesus Christ.
Okay, and that is totally incorrect. Christian, to be a Christian, means I will strive to be like Christ was. I'm not going to make it because by nature I'm a sinner. I'm not going to make it, but I will strive in every effort to be like Christ. That is the definition of Christian.
So
Why do you think you won't make
is
it? That's weird.
Deborah
No, I'm Duchess.
Duchess. My bad. I absolutely apologize.
Gotta respect the Duchess. What are you doing,
Duchess, you are, by your faith,
I am Messianic Jew.
Messianic Jew.
Messianic
do
Jew.
you know what a Messianic Jew is?
man? Vaguely. Very vaguely.
Take a stab.
Messianic Jew, so I assume that is a Jewish person that has, you know, some relation to Freemasonry, right?
No.
Freemasonry. You said Messianic, right?
No.
Messianic.
Messianic. No, then I actually don't know what that is.
Okay, the Messiah. Messianic. The Messiah.
Oh, I have heard of that concept before.
That is a
Yeah.
Jew that believes Jesus is actually the Messiah.
Isn't that a Christian? That's what I'm wondering.
Yes.
So every
That
Christian
is-
is a Messianic Jew, right?
No.
No. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm a Gentile.
Yes.
They are
You're a
Gentiles that were accepted. They accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
Were brought
and
into the
Jesus
family.
is a Jew.
Oh wait, so are you
by
like?
definition?
So by her heritage, she is a Jew, but
Oh,
she
so you're like
believes
you're ethnically Jewish.
So by definition, because they're Gentiles, they have been adopted into the Jewish faith.
Are you Ashkenazi, Yiddish?
I am just Duchess.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
If she drops the mic right now, we would leave this alone.
Yeah, honestly, I'd get up. That's what I'd do.
Right?
It'd be the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like when it comes to that, you know, I get like
You're
I
hating
guess.
Christians because or you're disliking Christians and saying there's no hate like Christian love because of your misconcept of what a Christian is.
Okay, do you know? Do you want to know?
Always remember, the only thing the Christian is.
It's a misconcept of what Christian is. Okay, but do you know why I say that? Though? That's the thing. Do you know
Gaslighting
why?
is what he's really. That's the new term.
Gas. What?
Continue.
No, the reason why I say that is because I believe that your reputation, you know, how you are perceived, is entirely dependent on your action. I believe the action is what makes the man. And so,
Yeah.
Perception.
by and large, Christians, people who self-ID as Christians, are more often than not conservative in their politics,
Yes.
you know, bigoted socially, backwards, you know, when it comes to where they want to take the society and, you know, how they want to progress America into this new and mysterious world that we are treading ourselves into.
I suppose that's because you are 22 years old in the
Okay,
deep
yeah,
South. In the deep South.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's true.
You said bigoted socially. Explain that to me.
Yeah,
'Cause that doesn't make any sense to me. Because I'm pretty good at talking to people. So.
the Christian propensity for generally their anti-gay sentiment. That's mostly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Their belief
Yeah.
in the idea of sin and that applies to homosexuality.
Yeah, of
that
course.
is where that bigotry, lies, because ultimately
Wait a minute.
they hold that belief that action, that way of life is sinful as an excuse to act upon their already existing hatred of those people.
Nathan, who told you homosexuality is a sin? Where did you get that? Tell it to me.
Him.
Oh, okay, he said to you that's a sin. So let me tell you biblically and Hebraically what it says. It is an abomination. It did not say it's a sin. Sin can be forgiven. Abominations can be forgiven. It is an abomination. That is what the biblical point of view is. So you have to
You
be
call
very
me the
careful.
abominable snowman then.
Okay, well, and you're a pretty nice-looking snowman. But the fact of the matter is, you have to be very careful of that, because when people start thinking, I'm sinning, therefore I have no chance of ever going to heaven, of ever going anywhere, so therefore I'm just going to continue sinning because I know I can't change it. You have to know the definition of what you think sin is, or what you've been told it was, versus what it really is.
Yeah, I don't think that sin is a thing. Like, I don't think that sin as a concept, should be believed, because I don't think it exists, ultimately.
Yeah, he thinks
I think
it's
that
okay to go do whatever you want.
that's not what I said, Matthew. No, what I...
He just doesn't like the word sin.
No, that's not what I said either. You keep
then what is it?
You're in my head, man. You're in my head. No, I don't think it exists. I don't think it's anything. I think that what matters ultimately are the actions that you take in your life, and whether or not those hurt or help people. That's all
sin.
that matters. Whether or not it's sinful or not, that doesn't matter.
Hey, wait a minute.
Because it's also sinful to eat shellfish.
Hold on,
you
there's
know
this.
that?
Wait a minute, though.
We're
There's
eating
this-
shrimp in here.
Hold on,
We're so sinful.
There's a really awesome. Wait a minute, it's coming. There's a word for it. What it's sin. That's what. That's the. My God,
No, because
that's
sin is
amazing.
defined specifically as the
I don't
thing
know where
that God
came
doesn't
from.
like.
I don't know where it came
No,
from.
sin specifically
It's amazing.
sin specifically is defined as the thing that God just doesn't like, the thing that God rejects.
See,
Hold
no,
on,
it's
let's
not.
go back.
Yes,
to
it
the
is.
show.
It's
Let's go
crimes
back-
against
let's go
God.
back
It doesn't have
to the-
anything to do with
Let's
the,
go
the
back to
creator's
the
Then why
life
is
is
wearing
life
mixed?
that
Hold
has
on.
to do
Why
with
is wearing
the
mixed
order.
fabric a sin? Why is eating
Let's
shellfish
go.
a sin?
You're
Why
talking
is
the Old
boiling
Testament.
a goat in
not.
its mother's milk a
the Old
sin?
Testament. The New
But
Testament
it's a
is
sin. It still
Jesus'
matters. It's
testament.
part of the
not.
Bible.
It's not.
It
It
is. It's part of the
not.
Bible.
You are throwing out a bunch of.
Tell that to literally every other self-identifying Christian who adheres to the Old Testament.
Who adheres
Do you
to
know
the
who
Old,
adheres
that is
to the
not
Old
a Christian.
Testament?
That's a Jew.
No, because they still call themselves Christian because they adhere to both.
No, they don't.
No,
Yes,
she's
they
right
do.
there.
Jews don't give a shit about the New Testament.
No, I'm talking about Christians. I'm talking about people who self-ID as Christian.
Do not-
By and large,
Wait, I know
they
what
adhere
you're
to
doing.
both.
I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
You're putting Catholicism in Christianity, and
That's
that is
not
not
what
even
I'm
a
doing,
thing.
man.
Yes, you are.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking
No,
about
he's
Baptists.
We
talking-
can go back to that.
I'm talking about
1913
Pentecostals.
part of the discussion.
I'm talking about Methodists.
He's
When
talking.
Methodist is a branch of Catholicism.
Is okay. I'm also talking about.
I've been there. I've
Lutherans.
been in
I'm talking
two
about.
services. And I
I'm
said,
even talking about
nope.
Gnostic Christians, actually.
Agnostic Christians?
I'm not Gnostic.
Okay, I thought you said. I was like, that's a contradiction.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. Yeah. It's
it
true
might be in the
for
next
most
year.
Christians. You know, the only people it doesn't seem to be true for is this new, phenomenon of these non-denominational people who are calling themselves Christian, who only adhere to very specific parts of the Bible, seemingly, at least the way that it turns
That's
out
not-
by their action in the
that's
real
not-
world,
that's
for
not
political reasons, not because of actual religious belief.
That's not new. That's how Christianity started.
Well, then, dang, Christianity is more toxic than I
the-
thought.
It's called the New Covenant for a reason. It's not the Old Covenant.
Then why do Christians still read and listen to the Old
it's
Testament?
important. We've talked about
Because
this.
it's important,
Because
yeah,
it
but it's
never
not scripture,
went
I
away.
guess. But yeah, because it never
Because
went
it
away. No, that's the
proves-
thing. But you're saying it did went away because you said it's a new covenant.
It is a new covenant.
is.
So did it go? Did it go away, or is it still here?
Well, is it? Well, obviously it's not still here because history is in the past.
I think
right?
she disagrees with you.
Well, history is history. It's in the past, but it's important, isn't it? It's important that we know history. Why?
Because history rhymes, and as soon as we understand that, the sooner we can break the rhyme scheme.
History what?
Rhymes.
Can
I
I
don't.
be-
I don't
kind
like
of
the idea
words?
that. I don't like the idea that history repeats. I like the idea that history rhymes because
Can I be
it
honest?
doesn't actually repeat. It just
didn't
repeats
say that. Why don't-
archetypes. Basically,
Why are you,
Can I be honest?
you're talking
You know-
about why we should know about history. Why should we
no,
learn
it's
history?
important.
Do you know
because
how I
it's-
know that Nathan is, which we all know Nathan's intelligent, but the fact that we say history and he doesn't say, why is it his story and not her story?
Because no one says that. There's no one in the real world who says it.
There is.
Find me one. Find me one.
Got you. I got you, fam.
Do it.
Yeah, it's actually out there. That's
Show me.
seen-
It is.
Show me all
ridiculous.
your conservative cringe compilations. Let's go.
I mean, I've seen.
I love the
several.
Daily Wire. I
Several.
love Steven Crowder. They're so truthful, so honest.
I really do like Steven Crowder.
Yeah, you
He's
you
awesome.
like him? Yeah,
But
the
you
wife
know
beater.
who he is.
He's
so-
pretty
The
awesome.
wife beater. The guy who was found, beating his wife,
I've never
berating
seen
his
anything
wife
that.
on security camera footage, smoking a cigar in his fucking pregnant wife's face.
Look, hey,
Okay.
did she?
Yeah,
have a black-
wow.
did she have a black eye?
Not in the camera footage, no.
Okay. Then you only had to tell her to go make a sandwich one time.
Wow.
There's a lot of good jokes about a lot of good things.
Yeah.
See,
Funny
that's-
joke. Funny joke.
It is. You'll look.
I'm laughing on the inside.
You'll be thinking
Well,
about it
I
tonight.
mean, we go back to Mead Talk 1 where you said some stuff. And
Oh yeah, let's do it. Bring it up. Do it.
But
As soon as I make
I
some
can't-
good points in a conversation, it's funny. We tend to bring up the stupid shit I said like weeks and weeks and months ago. It's kind of funny.
No, it's
I
not
haven't heard
stupid.
any good points.
Okay.
It's
I'm
not,
still
it's
waiting
not
for those.
stupid. An
Yeah.
opinion isn't stupid. The whole point in opinions is for one party to debate with the other party as to why the other party is correct.
Some opinions are stupid. I disagree with this liberal notion that just because it's a logical perspective that it's valid and deserving of any recognition of respect.
It's not. It doesn't mean that it's respect deserving, but it is deserving to be heard, I would say.
I don't think that tankies should be heard. People who support and defend Stalin, I don't think that they should be heard.
Well, I don't think that people that support and defend Palestine should be heard, but I
That's
listen
crazy,
to them.
because I don't think that people who defend Israel on any level actually should be heard at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, you know, what's funny is
But
I think that Aaron
meant.
Bushnell wasn't a crazy person. I think he was actually a hero, you know, and I think that the suffering in Palestine right now to any real Christian would be abhorrent, and they would be calling for the total dismantlement of the
Nathan,
Israeli state.
I heard that a week or two ago you said free Palestine. You used those words, free Palestine.
Yeah, like a while ago.
Palestine is not being held hostage. Palestine is free. So what are you talking about?
Here we go.
Good question.
Look up the Flower
There's no
Massacre. That's all I
hostage.
got to say on that.
There's
Just
no
look up the Flower
hostages.
Massacre.
Palestine is not being held
Look up the
hostage.
Flower Massacre.
The Palestinian
Why are they
Hamas, which is
starving?
the Palestinian
Why are they
government,
starving?
has hostages
Why are they
from
dehydrated?
Israel, but they are not being held hostage. We, Israel, does not have any hostages of Palestinians. Palestine, the Hamas, which is the government of Palestine,
Oh, it's the
has
government.
hostages of
Who has
Israel.
sovereignty over Gaza?
Who
Who
has sovereignty?
has sovereignty?
Hamas.
Hamas has sovereignty.
Correct. And so if it is being held hostage and you want
You
to
sure it's
free
not
them,
Israel?
That is correct. It is
You sure it's not Israel
So
that has
if-
sovereignty over that
if-
land? You sure they
if-
don't control their water? You sure they don't control the import of
no,
aid?
they don't
You sure they don't
control
control?
it. You know what they
you sure they don't
do?
shoot on civilians?
They
You sure they
grant
don't
it
fucking
to them.
massacre innocent
They
fucking
give
babies
it
and
to
women?
them favorably. Israel gives to Palestine the water because it is of the heart to give to Gaza. They don't sell it to them. They don't withhold.
They don't give Gaza
give
shit.
it. They give
They
the
gave them
water.
the
Did you
land.
not just say?
They gave them the
Did you not
land.
just
Wow.
say? Did you not just say that Israel gives to Palestine? the
No,
water?
I said that
Oh,
Israel does
son of a-
not.
I'm gonna
No.
draw a circle and put a knife in. Let's see who comes out alive. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Real,
kidding.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
No, seriously, no. Like
Shoot
Israel,
and win.
unironically, like we want to talk about like real, opinions. We want to talk about hard-hitting opinions. I believe in a one-state solution, and I believe that state is Palestine.
Hell Hitler. Oh, wait. No, never mind.
Yeah. Palestine is never.
Spain already had a one state.
Laugh.
They were
You smiled.
governed by
You
a
smiled.
Hamas.
You smiled.
Yeah, they weren't.
The Palestinian people voted
I think this is
in
my
Hamas.
last.
Yeah,
Mead
well,
Talk.
they've
We want
never.
to be
They've
sad
never.
for them. We want
They've
to be
never
sorry
been
for
in a.
them. We want to hurt for them.
Yeah.
But yet they voted them
Well,
in.
I appreciate all that
Death to
Israel.
Netanyahu.
I appreciate that all that Israel has done for those people, even though they hate them so much. Like
Death to the IDF.
even though
They have two young people your age, is what you're saying.
that's what
Yeah.
But he doesn't. The
Comprehend that.
connection's not there yet, right? But but the Palestinian people, even though the Israel's done so much for the Palestinian people, and even though the Palestinian people hate Israel so much, it's a weird, crazy. I mean, it's a crazy world over there, but
It's not, because if we open, there's one book that we can open that will explain everything.
No, there isn't. And it's so funny because there's literally so much fucking
There is
disinformation around
40
Gaza right
babies.
now.
That's
And
all
I'm
I
not
wanna say.
surprised.
40 babies.
yeah.
Flower
Were you
massacre.
okay?
Flower massacre.
Were you okay
FLOUR
that 40
massacre.
babies
Look
were
it up.
tied up
Look it up.
and
Look up the flower
burned
massacre.
alive?
Look up the flower massacre. The IDF literally fired on hundreds of fucking starving innocent civilians, people that had no connection to Hamas, literally just trying to get fucking flour. You can
But
look it
they
up. There are
voted them
pictures
in,
of
my
people with their
dear.
fucking heads blown open
They
next to
voted
spilled
Hamas
bags of
in
flour.
to govern them. Do you understand that?
They did not fucking vote for
They
shit.
voted Hamas in
No,
to
they fucking
govern
didn't.
their
No,
state of
Netanyahu needs
Palestine.
Hamas. Netanyahu needs Hamas because otherwise Netanyahu wouldn't be able to fucking excuse the disgusting genocide that he's waging in Gaza right
40
now.
babies. That's all I want to say. 40 babies. You were
40
okay
babies. Flower massacre.
with 40
Flower massacre.
babies
Hold
on.
being
Yep.
tied up,
Flower massacre.
alive,
Hold on.
and
Flower
burned.
massacre.
Hold on. I need to ask Nathan this.
Oh.
I love you, Nathan.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Just one question, Nathan. Just one question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with Muslims?
No.
Do you agree with their religion?
No, but does that mean that I think innocent Muslims deserve
just-
to die?
Whoa, whoa,
no.
whoa, whoa. He
Hold
was
on.
just asking you a question.
Just a question.
No, because I know where the question's gonna fucking lead. All right,
Why
I don't
would you
care
think
if
that?
Muslims are
Whoa,
homophobes.
whoa,
I don't think that.
whoa.
I don't
Why?
think that Christians should be dying like that
Hold
either.
on. Where are you
Palestinian Christians that are dying like that is also pretty
Whoa.
fucking disgusting.
Hey,
I don't
man.
think Jewish people should die
Whoa,
like that either.
hey.
Whoa.
Just because I
put
don't-
brakes on.
Motion's
Hold
high right
on,
now.
man.
Bring it
I'm-
down.
Just
Bring
no.
it down.
What I'm telling you is that just because I don't like Muslims doesn't necessarily mean I think they deserve to fucking die.
It was
Hold
just a
on.
simple question.
It has nothing to do with
Just a
that.
simple question.
Ask your question then, man. Fucking ask it. Ask it.
So you do not agree with Muslims, correct?
Yeah, I don't agree with him.
Okay.
I haven't dropped one.
Drop what?
Nothing. F-bomb. I haven't said one tonight. Think.
Oh.
Clearing that up.
Jesus will reward you for this.
No. That's
Yeah, you will.
That's
Yeah, you will.
interesting.
He's like, yeah, you didn't curse. Here
Hold
is a spider under your pillow.
So you don't agree with Muslims.
it's awkward.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Do you agree with Judaism?
No.
Where is this your battle? Where is this your
The
opinion?
battle is just I don't want any.
Hold
Let me
on.
answer the question.
I don't. But
Let me answer the question.
Can
Let
I
me
ask-
answer the
can
question.
Can I ask this?
You're going to ask me multiple rhetorical questions. All
I'm
right,
gonna
man,
ask
go
you-
ahead.
Hold on. One more question.
Go ahead.
Take your emotions out.
I'm
Where
taking 'em
is this
out.
your battle?
Let me answer that question, please, because you asked
Can you
it.
do that without
Let
emotion?
me ask it. Yes. No.
Okay.
Where my
No,
place?
You can't do it without emotion, or yes, you can.
Let me fucking answer it.
You're twisting my head, Nathan. Can you do it without emotion, or can you not?
I'm not gonna answer the question then if you're not gonna let me answer it.
I can let you answer it without emotion. That's what I want.
I'm not going to answer the question if you don't let me answer it. Let me answer it.
Without emotion?
Let me answer it.
He's
Without
saying that
emotion.
he can't do it without emotion.
That's what I'm
Because
trying to
emotions
get at.
in literally everything, man.
No, it's
Let
not.
me answer the question. If you don't want me to answer the question, just say so. You got me. Fucking all right.
Okay.
Just fucking let me
So
answer
now, answer it with emotion.
it. My spot in this conflict is simply the spot of the bystander looking on in horrified shock and disbelief.
Yeah.
I think that it is barbaric that any innocent people in this conflict die at all on
Yeah.
either side.
So you take Trump's side on that.
Yep.
Sure, if that's what Trump's side is, fine.
That's exactly what he said.
There
Like,
wouldn't
he
have
said,
been a war
I don't
if
want
he was in
any more
office.
people to die. He said, I just want it to stop, and
Yes.
it would stop
Right.
in one day if he was in presidency.
Yes.
That's what he said.
You know, actually, oddly enough, even though I don't like Trump, I do kind of believe that because Biden is a fucking spineless coward when it comes to Israel. He won't fucking
Yeah.
stand up to Israel.
Hey,
It's
Nathan.
unreal.
Nathan, give me a fist bump. Yes.
Because the reason why, honestly, is because, and you can call me a chauvinist. This is one of those things where I am openly reactionary and chauvinistic about this, and I unironically don't care. Israel is our fucking military base. They belong to the United States, and God damn it, they should fucking submit. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I think that the fact that Israel has been let off its leash so fucking haphazardly is honestly fucking insane. And the fact that America has fallen so low, that we have allowed our fucking military base, our puppet state in the Middle East to act so fucking roguely is beyond asinine. I don't know what kind of incompetence is going on in the government right now, but it fucking sits at Joe Biden's feet.
Israel is a sovereign state.
I don't care.
Yeah, we can't.
I don't care. I don't care about sovereign states at all.
America doesn't have a say.
I don't care about sovereign states at all. I only care about what's right. And if America lording over Israel like they have the right to, then if that solves the problem, then that solves the problem.
Yeah, just like, government lording over us solves the problem. It's the exact same
No, it's
concept.
a different situation.
No.
How is that different when you want
different.
America to lord over a sovereign
No,
state?
because I don't want the government to do bad things to people.
But they will.
I want the government to do good things.
1,400 people your age was slaughtered by Hamas. And you're saying that's okay? We should draw back and leave it alone? No, darling.
So all right, 20 plus thousand people murdered, innocent people murdered. That's fucking excuse for that?
Let's build on that thought, right? So I had somewhere I was going with this and I totally forgot what it was. Sorry. But yeah. I know. Gosh dang. Yeah, I need to start organizing my thoughts again. I used to do this. Gosh dang it. It went too long and I had something there, but
Happens.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I want to make sure your listeners know that I love Nathan. It is okay that we disagree. Nathan is fabulous.
I don't think it's okay that we disagree on this, to be perfectly frank, but honestly, that's because that's a good enough reason for me to say that maybe getting deeper on the Israel-Palestine question should be its own independent Mead Talk, where we actually break down and actually solve that issue. Because I don't think we're going to get to any kind of agreement or solution tonight, by any means. And I don't think that you're in the right. And I honestly think that anyone supporting Israel in this at all is supporting a monstrous fascist hell state that doesn't deserve to exist.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Nathan, do you understand
It's okay that some countries don't deserve to exist. That's not a bad thing to say.
I don't know how you feel
the
about
United States.
biblical...
The United States doesn't deserve to exist. Yeah, I agree with that. It doesn't deserve to exist.
But why?
Because I don't think, honestly, like the real answer is because I don't think that any nation state deserves to exist, because I don't think that borders help us at all.
Okay.
I think that they just drive conflict. They drive wedges where they don't need to be.
Yeah, okay. So, you don't think the U.S. has stopped every major evil that's come about?
I do think that, actually, because the U.S., by and large, like throughout history, when it comes to the international stage, have been consistently the better guys. Not the good guys, but the better guys.
Not just the better guys, but like if you were to ask somebody like which prisoner of war camp would you rather be in, a Russian one or an American one?
An American one all day.
Oh yeah.
An American one all day.
Extremely well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That still doesn't mean that I think America deserves to exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so that's a little, I find that contradicting. You may not, but I do.
just because it does good things for people, that means it deserves to exist in the institution that it is?
So the problem is that if it didn't, then other things would exist, and I like this a lot more than the other things.
Nathan,
See,
you
the
wouldn't
thing that I
relive in
want
your
to
life.
replace the nation state with, though,
Yeah.
is something pretty cool. I want to replace it with, free and open trade among cities, among townships. devoid
So-
of borders. I want
Yeah.
a global society, and I want people to have the right to live anywhere they want to on this beautiful earth. Because I don't think that
They have
invisible
mostly that
lines in
right,
the
I would say.
sand. I don't think that invisible lines in the sand should prevent anyone from going anywhere and
Yeah.
living in
But
that area.
Nathan, the only country on the planet Earth that has freedom is America.
That's not true.
There is no other country.
America
with the
doesn't even
freedoms.
have that much freedom.
Indeed, we have turned more socialism than capitalism. That is true. We are more socialistic now than ever before.
Well, before-
but
so-
your freedoms that
McCarthy,
you have
is that you?
now, you would
feel a
not
chill.
be living in any other country.
I feel a chill. I feel a specter. I think the
I know-
ghost of McCarthy is right here among us.
I know where this is going, but we're already 2 hours in. And we
2
need to end
hours
this.
in?
So let's go ahead and call
Hey!
this. Thank you so much, Nathan, for showing up.
Absolutely,
Thank you so much
man.
For everybody out in the crowd.
No hard feelings.
Nathan,
I
you're
hope
such
that-
a bigot. No, I'm
I
just
know,
kidding. I love
right?
you.
I am. No hard feelings. Seriously, guys. I mean it.
I don't
Yeah.
call
hey,
people.
but that's
that
that's
because
always been the
it's-
beautiful thing about this is we can have a major conflict of
Right.
difference, of interest, and we'll walk away from this and we'll be like, hey, appreciate you, brother, love you,
Hey,
brother.
yeah, for most,
You know.
except for the Israel thing. That's except for the Israel
The
thing.
line's drawn there. There's been way worse done
Yeah.
by the Clintons
I know.
than the freaking Israel.
Yeah.
But look, that's another beat.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
We
Another
appreciate
Mead
you
Talk.
so much.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for coming by.
absolutely.
Peace out. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. You really got to keep on for this song to end.
That was an intense one.
It got pretty intense there.
The last one, the one that we did where we co-host was very civil, actually.